Huh?
We'll just fucking start, I guess.
What a shitty cold opening this is.
I know. So
This is a somber one, I suppose.
it is a very somber one. We've been off the air a couple of weeks. We just got off.
Month.
Holy shit! It has been a month. We split them up and we did them over the course of 2 weeks for our 8th anniversary show. But since then, a lot of things have unfortunately happened. We lost, unfortunately, quite a few members of the wrestling family. We'll talk about it once we're here in the show. Welcome, everyone. This is Sleazy.
It's the Fat Man.
And welcome, everyone, to another wonderful episode. Blues Knock Nancy, they're awesome. They let us use that wonderful song and Unsettling Differences. You can find them on iTunes and Spotify.
I like now how you slow down on that and you don't sound like you're going to have a heart attack at the beginning of the show.
Because I'm not all hyped up and happy, honestly. I always love doing these shows, but today's... To say my heart's not completely in it is an understatement. So Ryan's here, the man they call Buckmaster Gotch.
Hey, yo.
Thank you. And the CDWIL.
Return of the Mark. Return of the Mark.
It is.
Return of the Mark.
Chip Willett's
You
here
little
today.
fucking bitch. Return of the Mark.
This is why podcast takes 3 hours. You know that.
I have no idea what the hell's going on.
I don't know, but I like it. Welcome, Mark.
Hi guys, welcome. I mean, thank you. I mean, I don't know what's going on with my fucking.
Well, you haven't been on the show so long.
How many beer deep are you, Chip?
Oh,
I know.
after my phone on
I'm eating chicken right now. I'm not any beers deep.
chicken
Yet.
gone. I'm the one with the beer. Not labeled.
I just got shitty ass internet service for some damn reason.
Who knows at this point?
That's all.
Come on.
All right.
Hey, Sleazy, you got Spectrum. No, wait, you don't got Spectrum anymore.
No, I don't.
That's what those fuckers did.
Oh, what did they do?
Fucking rose my bill up by $5 because of the Wi-Fi service fee.
Oh,
Rule your internet. Let's talk about some wrestling.
yeah. Let's get this over with. So we lost 4 major members of the wrestling family. 5.
5.
Holy shit, 5.
What?
God damn it.
I wouldn't call Zeus a major factor. I'm just saying, like, not the wrestling, anyways.
I mean, he was influential. Let's start with Zeus. We lost Zeus. I can't
He
even.
got knocked the fuck out.
Yeah. So I'm leaning heavily on Fat Man for these dates because I
I'm
don't
looking
have
up right now.
I don't have any of them. Zeus was most well known for starring in oh god, no.
Friday.
Do not say that piece of shit movie's name. He's well known for starring in Friday, and he fought Hulk Hogan once or twice. That's his.
Yes. That is the upside of his life.
December 10th.
That was holy shit, that was December 10th?
Mm-hmm.
It was over 2 weeks ago. God. Wow. First of all, fuck 2020. If we haven't said that enough yet, this show probably will come out after the first, but we will be saying fuck 2020 a lot this fucking show, I think.
Mm-hmm. Apparently it was due to complications from COVID-19. That's no autopsy has been done yet, but that's the alleged cause.
Okay. Then we had Kevin Green, football player, but also known for being in WCW for a cup of coffee. Most well known for feuding with Mongo and having probably one of the best matches of Mongo's career.
And that's saying a lot.
Saying a lot.
He died on the 21st. No official cause of death has been released yet. hopefully it wasn't due to complications from head trauma, like most football players have.
Yeah,
Um,
especially in that era.
mhm. Yeah, he was with the Steelers, the Rams, Panthers, won a Super Bowl as a coach for the Packers, and he had actually a pretty decent match with a Giant on the pay-per-view, and yeah.
The fact that he had a decent match with a Giant and won a Super Bowl does put him in the little special class.
Right.
It is. I mean, Lawrence Taylor can't say that.
Listen, if we're going talking about football players that came in and did a couple of matches and gone, nobody's touching Lawrence Taylor.
I disagree, actually. There's one very recent one that has done a pretty good damn job.
Which we will cover on the first show.
Yeah. Then we have Danny Hodge, who passed
Christmas
away.
Eve.
Christmas Eve.
I don't know much about that one. That one I don't know about.
He started wrestling in like late 50s, early 60s.
Okay.
Broke in with like Leroy McGurk and Ed Strangler Lewis. More of like a mid-South person, more of an NWA guy, very influential from Oklahoma. Jim Ross knew him. And I was actually listening to his podcast on my way down to Ithaca, and there's a long story there. But he was talking about this is kind of funny because it was taped before Danny Hodge died, but about Ole Anderson trying to try Danny Hodge, and Jim Ross said that day only found out how not tough he was.
Wow.
how tough he was, how tough Ole Anderson was not when he tried to tempt Danny Hodge.
Yeah,
So
Danny was
and he was an NCAA champion too, and
he was a shoot wrestler. We've lost Buck.
and then the two big ones, Pat Patterson.
Yep.
Was December 2nd, actually.
I forgot we've been off the air so long, I forgot that we had to talk about him. Pat, to say he was an influential wrestler, for better or worse, is an understatement of the century. I mean,
oh my God, yep.
First Intercontinental Champion is the one that everyone talks about,
Yep.
but the man...
First IC title in that grueling tournament in Rio de Janeiro.
That never happened.
It was so grueling.
So grueling, it never happened.
Creator of the Royal Rumble match, right hand man for Vince for all those years. Great mind for the business, and yeah, he's going to be missed.
Yeah.
And then the one that hit Sleazy and I. And here's the funny thing, we talked about in the last show about that story about how I must have been high or drunk or on pills or something with that Facebook with Brody Lee, which I honestly still don't remember me doing, because I would never intentionally sober disrespect Brody Lee.
What the hell did you say?
He was being fat man.
Yeah, I was saying that he is, I guess I said something about how he has no knowledge of the wrestling business or something.
Serious?
Now, Chip, in Fat Man's defense, it was his shoot name. So, and Fat Man is apparently dumb and just didn't put two and two together that he was talking to Brody Lee, Luke Harper.
No, like I said, I knew his shoe name. I must have been
Drunk or so.
Yeah. So, but
So
yeah, that hit.
now
us hard.
now you're forever known as getting fucking worked by Brody Lee. Great.
I've been
Brody Lee's up in heaven talking about that one fucking fat mark that fuck with him on Facebook.
Yeah. To say the least, Brody and John Huber, everyone has a good thing to say about him. You know, I got lucky to meet him once years ago, when he showed up randomly on I think it was a UPW show. I can't even remember when that was. But this was very, very early. I think this was even before I started training at UPW. But the man has been nothing but an asset to the business. Everyone and their brother's been releasing stories about him. Biggie has been going on a tear and releasing stories about his stuff, and how after he was done wrestling, Brody wanted to be like an agent and stuff like that. And there are 1.5 million stories about him in Rochester and local and 2CW. He was Brody was the first 2CW champion. In fact, Brody was in the main event of the first Excite show, even. So to say he had an influence in this area is an understatement as well. He will definitely be missed. And he was only 41. His wife said he had a non-COVID related lung issue.
Before you go on your rant,
you know where I'm going. And
I know where you're going with it. I don't know how Meltzer gets his information about maybe he's from apparently AEW knew about it in October.
Mm-hmm.
I guess he was like having trouble breathing at home in October, and he's been in the hospital ever since, and no one knew except a few people in AEW. Like Tony Khan knew, obviously, and maybe like his family, obviously, and maybe like 1 or 2 other people. And then they knew that he was going downhill fast. So, and then, like I said, listening to Jim Ross podcast, he was talking about people dying too soon, and this was taped 4 days before he died. So, eerily looking back, I think Jim knew. So
I wouldn't
what
be
do you want to
surprised.
say?
Yeah.
Like, it's just hindsight being fucking 2020, but
Fuck 2020.
But yeah, it's now Sleazy, go off on Mike Johnson.
It wasn't Mike Johnson.
I thought it was Mike Johnson.
It was Bruce Mitchell.
Oh, the fucking
PW
jack off.
Yeah, PW Torch guy.
Oh, that article.
Yeah. So
Oh.
since then he's deleted the article because he got so much shit for it. But he had written an article 12 hours, 16 hours after it was announced that Brody Lee had passed. And in the article, now keep in mind, Amanda had already said on Instagram, I guess it was, that he died of a non-COVID related lung issue.
His wife.
Not some writer, not Dave Meltzer, his wife said that. Okay? Not AEW even. His wife. And this motherfucking cunt, and I'm leaving that in there.
Okay.
This piece of shit has decided to write an article about how his fucking wife is lying about him having COVID, and AEW is lying about COVID for a cover-up so they can continue doing shows. You piece of fucking garbage. Do you even for a second think that you're doing this for any other reason to get clickbait views on your fucking piece of shit website? I almost didn't want to say what website it was just to make sure you didn't get a fucking click, but nobody watches this show, so it's fine. Whatever.
Appearance from Swirly.
Welcome. You've done this 16 hours after the man is dead. He's not even fucking cold. You need to have some restraint. If you have that thought process, fine. Wait a while for it. God damn it. They just lost their husband. They just lost the father of their kids. Are you fucking that much of an idiot to even say something like that? And obviously he was. And this motherfucker sits on Twitter and defends it for a good day and a half before finally he just falls off the internet. It's guys like him that make wrestling journalists, and I say that with a definite tongue in cheek because we are, in theory, wrestling journalists too. But at least we're not. We're fucking marks that talk about the business. Okay, let's be honest. You know, just because we're in the business doesn't mean we're not marks talking about the business.
I'm not in the business.
Some of us are. Okay.
You're the only one, Chip.
Yeah. So
that hasn't some sort of been in the business.
I was going to say, because technically I'm not in the business right now. I'm retired.
Yeah. But the point...
We know you're retarded. That's your gimmick.
That is always... Former gimmick.
Now.
Wait, what? So, I mean...
Okay, I'll put it this way. It's nice to have a little chuckle with all the serious talk and stuff like that.
Yeah, it just pisses me off because it makes us all look bad. And Dave Meltzer's been making us all look bad for decades, but at least Dave Meltzer isn't intentionally profiting off of somebody's death that quickly.
And we say fuck Dave Meltzer contractually at least 30 times a show.
Yes, that is
defend him
here for Dave Meltzer.
I'm going to defend him here. He came out and said there is no proof to what I thought it was Mike Johnson, but there's no proof to what Bruce Mitchell said. None.
So, like, okay.
He said that what he heard was like I said, in October, they found out he's had lung issues. He got tested every day in AEW. They all came back negative. He got tested in the hospital. They all came back negative.
Mm-hmm. The point I want to make out of that is that even though they were tested negative, that they could still be positive, or they still could have COVID. But the problem is those constant tests means that there's less and less and less of a chance that they're actually a false negative, because the more times you do it, the more likelihood that the false negative stops happening because the virus load goes up in the body. So to sit there and say that Brody had, a false negative and obviously he was dying of COVID and blah, blah, blah is such bullshit. And to sit there and jump to that conclusion. And like I said, 16 hours after the man fucking died, the day after fucking Christmas, you motherfucker. It pisses me off.
It was in poor taste. Extremely.
Poor taste is an understatement of the fucking century, man.
I'm trying to be nice.
I'm not. Fuck him. I already said the C word.
Well, that's true.
So, let's get on to something better.
Well, I do mention I was on Twitter today, and I saw how Carl Anderson was saying how he really misses his friend and all his brothers since he's wrestled with in the past and left, and it all came on the back of Cash Wheeler taking a glass of Knob Creek and toasting it to Brody Lee on after, because that's what they used to do. That used to be his thing, was Knob Creek. I was really shocked when I heard it. In fact, I didn't even know. I couldn't believe it at first. I was on Twitter and I'm like, this can't be real. And then of course I did research and found out it was. And then it does really piss me off if people are trying to see that AEW knew about it, because.
No, I think AEW knew that he was.
Well, no, but piggybacking on what Sleepy was saying, how they're saying that.
Oh, gotcha. How AEW
COVID. It was COVID related.
Cover it up.
Yeah, and I think that's just all automatic bullshit, because I can tell just by I actually have a guy that I was supposed to start writing with until my life got turned upside down, no pun intended. But he
friends.
he was he's actually good friends with a lot of people in AEW, and he was giving me insight on how they go about things and all that. And it doesn't sound like something they would do, and how generous Tony Khan is with everybody. So everything that I read was pretty much bullshit. But I just know, I can't believe, he's only a year and a half older than I am. And it's kind of close to home because, even though I didn't watch WWE for that long, like the shows or anything, I have listened to many podcasts with them on it, including Talk is Jericho, one of the best ones I've ever heard. Episodes I ever heard was when he was on there talking about life in Rochester and life coming up throughout the Indies and all that. And his success as Luke Harper, how No matter how they tried to kick him out, he was always there, always willing to sacrifice for the business. And then he finally got the push he deserved in AEW, and then this happens. So it's very sad to see him have passed on. And I know there's a lot of people in the wrestling world that are sad to see it happen.
I know John is extremely heartbroken.
Yeah, they were close. They were
Yep.
very close.
Josh is pretty heartbroken over it, obviously.
Yeah.
Obviously. Sean Carr.
All these guys. Brood.
Yep.
Brute.
Steve.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people. Like, there's even stories that Steve told where, like, he went down to Disney, and this is when Brody was in NXT. He went down to Disney Orlando, and Brody met him in Orlando, and went to Disney with him. This type of person that he really was, and he will he will be missed because he like I said, he's, like you said, probably one of the most underrated performers to be in the business, and it affects us a little bit more personally than it would for like Buck or Chip, because we're from here. It was Rochester proud that him and even Colin Delaney made it to WWE, and he had probably the most physical ladder matches I ever saw with Dolph Ziggler.
Here's the thing with Brody, is that Brody was the bar in so many ways. Brody was the bar for Rochester wrestling in that you were okay if Brody knew you and took care of you. You were always trying to be up to Brody's level, in terms of work ethic.
He was the Andre the Giant of the Rochester area.
That's a good way of putting it. Yeah. In the fact that he was definitely larger than life.
Yep. And if he liked you, he liked you. If he didn't, he didn't. So, but he would go out of his way to be an asshole to me when I was an asshole. Like, not even being an asshole. Like, he even told John.
Don't be an asshole.
Probably deserved.
Well. He even told John that he. And here's the thing. John even said, like, what's this guy's problem? Like, and he just continued to fuck with me. It was good natured ribbing on his part to me.
Yeah.
So, like, it wasn't like he was offended by it. He just wanted to fuck with me. And when I was fucking with him, not intentionally fucking with him, but
at the end of the day, you got a good story out of it.
Yeah. So
an unintentional good story, but a good story nonetheless.
I feel like that one time I was fucking probably high on pain pills from I'm pretty sure it's because I had to fucking get teeth pulled and I needed to be on pain medication. I'm pretty sure that's what it was. And I probably fucking didn't sleep for 4 days and just saw that and just fucking went off. But, but he will be missed, and especially around here, and it'll get better with time, but he'll never be forgotten.
Absolutely. I think I've told this story multiple times on the show, but when I first started training at the dojo, up in the rafters was a pair of Brody's shoes, and that was our mark. And sorry for exposing the business, whatever. But when we were training to do flip bumps, you're supposed to, look up and then come down. And Brody's shoes was the mark to look up to before you did the flip.
If you didn't see the shoes, you weren't looking all far enough.
Exactly. So it was actually a really cool, mini thing like that. But from that, you could also extrapolate, oh my God, you were looking up to Brody and blah, 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 blah. But in the reality of it, it's just a nice moment to think, somebody before us made it. We could be there too if we worked hard enough. And my God, that man worked so hard to try and get to where he was. So let's get on some better topics like pay-per-views.
Because you know.
Oh shit! Are we actually going to talk about wrestling?
We're talking about wrestling.
I hope so.
WAS. How is it? WR. What? Wait. RASS.
Wrestling.
That's wrestling. I was trying to actually spell wrestling.
Are we going to do this in chronological order, or are you just picking a fucking show and we're going?
Take over War Games.
The first chronological.
Come on.
Fucking Mark.
December 6th. Anyone watch the pre-show?
Nope.
No.
War Games match. Female War Games match.
Again, let off like last year.
Team Shotzi, which is Shotzi Blackheart, Ember Moon, Rhea Ripley, and Io Shirai. Sleazy's coming right now. Versus Team Candice, which is Candice LeRae, Dakota Kai, Rochelle Gonzalez, and Toni Storm. I'm coming right now. The match went 35 minutes and 22 seconds.
Did it go that long?
Fuck Dave Meltzer gave it 3.5 stars.
Did it go 35 minutes?
They went 35 fucking minutes.
Oh.
Which
Yeah,
is not
yeah,
a surprise, even though they work the 5-minute time limit.
Yeah,
It was not on Titan time. It was real time. What
It
the
was
hell?
real time.
Sleazy, you're the women's wrestling enthusiast.
I was not a fan of it.
Of course, because the Asian lost.
I think it was a great allegory of Io putting herself in a trash can and flinging herself off into the women's division.
That was
crazy.
funny. That was funny.
Stupid comment. Was that her proving that the rest of NXT women's division is trash?
Well, the Asian wrestlers in the female division are trash. At least in NXT. I'm trash.
Okay, so like, I know I'm stopping Sleazy, and he said Sleazy first, but I don't know about anybody else, but about halfway through that match kicked up a new gear. Like the first little bit, I was just like, this is weird. Like, I don't know what is going on. And then I went, okay. And about 6 people in out of the 8, I just went, oh, what's going on here? And then
So-
the match went from 0 to 100.
In my notes, I went Kai and Moon start. Decent exchange between the two. Shotzi's out next. Weird seeing the faces have an advantage in a War Games match.
Yeah, you've
But it
been
do-
watching too many war games.
But it doesn't really matter to be honest. Raquel's out next, Ripley, then Storm, then Io, and then Candice. It picked up more when all of them got in there.
I thought the Tower of Doom spot when there were 6 of them in there. That's when it was like, oh, here comes the generic Tower of Doom. Oh wait, they did 2 different things. That's different. And
Yeah.
then from then on, the match just went hello.
I thought it was a great match. I gave it 4 stars. And again, we're both. I said Sleazy, and we're both fucking going back and forth.
No,
But-
I mean, you're basically saying what I was planning on saying. But I was not that kind. I felt like that if you got rid of half the match, it would have been a 4-star match. So I gave it a 3 stars.
There's JA in the background with his
Hey!
cone of shame.
The cone of shame. But yeah,
Hey, little
Match
fucker.
3.5 stars. Okay, match 4 stars. You over/under rating pieces of shit.
I mean, yes. I think that at the end of the day, the match, because of the fact that it was War Games, you couldn't cut anything from it. But in the same breath, it did kick up a notch. It did fester really well. I mean, but I don't think it was nearly as good as last year's, and I don't think it was good. Spoiler, as the men's.
I don't think so either. John Kane liked it better than the men's,
Yeah, some.
which was weird when I read that. But
Yeah,
Chip, what'd you think?
Oh, I was afraid I was going to get forgotten since I'm no longer on the show that often.
wow. Don't worry, we
Shows
will.
up once a month too. Don't worry, buddy. Listen.
So, no, I was, it took a lot. The build-up was really, in the beginning, like Ryan said, very slow, but it picked up. I do like the ongoing feud between Raquel Gonzalez and Rhea Ripley. Those are 2 mammoth heavyweights that are just beating the living shit out of each other. The Io Shirai spot off the top of the cage was shocking. I was like, what the fuck is going on here? And then when Dakota Kai stomped on her and crushed the trash can around her and couldn't pin her because she was in the trash can, that was kind of comical.
Yeah.
I would go 4 stars. I definitely thought it was a decent opener, good heater. But, yeah, I think it was better than last year's. Not as much.
Oh my God, yes. But there was 2 extra people in this year's than there was in last year's.
That is true. The one. Oh, and I was not too much a fan of the hardcore aspect of it.
You had to do
Fucking
that.
War Games. What do you
Yeah,
mean?
You had to do that, though.
Yeah.
I
This
know.
isn't old school Arn Anderson and Dusty Rhodes starting off 40 War Games. This is new school. Especially, I hate to say this because it sounds so sexist, especially with the women, you had to add something to it because them just going in there and just running each other into the cage, I didn't think it would do anything. So, I think I like the adding, and and I forgot about this, I liked how they cut EO out for a little bit.
It stayed true to the old War Games heel
Where
advantage.
the heels have the advantage. Yeah. Mhm.
It was a flop, but it was a good way of doing it. So
If anything, Candice LeRae is undefeated in NXT War Games matches.
so
Yeah,
was Adam Cole.
and she got hurt in this match too. So, not the only person to hurt an arm in the War Games. That night.
Is that? I was going to say that's a segue into the next match, but you said War Games, so it's not the direct match.
Chip, what'd you rate it if you gave it anything?
I said 4. I said 4.
Oh, did he? Okay.
He
Pay attention.
he pulled the Horseman out.
So we all
Yeah,
said
fat man,
stars.
pay attention to your own fucking product. We're filming this shit, and you couldn't remember what he said 35 seconds ago.
Hey, I'm trying to get the attention of the cat I just spent $5 fucking grand on, and he's like, "Fuck off, motherfucker."
It's the Bud Light.
I didn't open it yet.
What?
I haven't even opened it yet.
Hey! Did they pay you for that? If not,
I'm
that
drinking
is
the
a
Evan
generic.
Williams eggnog.
Did
Did they pay you for that?
He's drinking generic beer and generic eggnog.
I'm talking generic eggnog. Evan
Women's had
Williams
a,
is generic egg. You know what you're talking about.
the women had a
Beer's
great match,
generic.
but it took halfway through to get the match to be any good. Next.
Yeah, pretty much.
Tommaso Ciampa versus Timothy Thatcher. Match went 16 minutes and 46 seconds. Fuck Dave Meltzer gave it 3 3/4.
At fucking mark.
Start
Yeah.
with Chip so we don't forget him this time.
I didn't forget him. I said it.
Yeah, he didn't forget me. I was impressed. He doesn't have that short-term memory.
I do. Where am I?
Anyways, I thought it was a good match. It was great to see 2 vile wrestlers go at it like hardcore, beat the hell out of each other, break every appendage possible. The right guy won. It sets up a good feud between Tommaso Ciampa and Larkin. But it's just, I don't know if I can give it 4 stars. I have to give it 3.5.
I mean, okay.
Well, I mean, following the match that we just saw, it just wasn't as.
That was the point.
Yeah, it was a cool
I know
match.
how they book it and all. I'm just saying, I think they could have done a little more with it.
You're going to see this a lot with Timothy Thatcher matches, is that they're going to be put in the cooldown spots because they're definitely a different breed of
They're-
wrestling.
They're British style.
Yeah.
British
And-
style physical matches.
And there's nothing wrong with that, but by intent, they really don't have that much. I don't want to say they don't have that much heat, but they definitely don't have the super spots in them. So they're going to kind of get slotted into like the second match and the match before the main to cool down the audience a little bit. But the problem with doing that is that it doesn't do a good job of giving them a true expose of why it's so good. You either like this stuff or you don't, honestly. And I've been on record of saying I'm not a huge fan of this kind of stuff. It's good technical wrestling. It's cool to look at. It's cool to put inside of a match as like a heat spot or, if you're looking for a different variation of a hope spot maybe. But as a full-on match like that, it doesn't really work as well as I'd think. At least not in the American audience. That being said, I gave it 3 stars. It was like I said, it was a decent British match, just not something I'm a huge fan of.
Sleazy star rating. Match was shit. 4 stars.
Right? This is why I hate your stupid.
No, I
fucking
said 3
star
stars
rating.
for the last one.
He's like,
it was-
the match was decent. 3 stars. 3 stars is a good match, Sleazy.
The match was average 4 1/3 star. Like, go to fuck, boss. Like,
First of all, it's
Match was good.
4.72
3 stars.
stars.
right for a house show, 3.5. Like, go to
We'll
fuck.
get to that when we talk to ROH.
Holy shit, yes.
Oh,
I gave
we
it
have
3
to talk
stars
about
also.
that.
I thought the match was good.
You fucking bitch about my shit.
No, you say decent 3 stars.
said
It's
decent.
a good match, 3 stars.
It was better than an average match, but barely. So it's a decent match.
You're a fucking piece of shit. I swear to God, I'm gonna punch you in the ovary.
A good match is 3.5 stars.
It shows.
I really want my free merch to be I stepped on a Lego because of my catchphrase, but I kind of want to underrating piece of shit.
I want to do that shirt,
It's
but
actually available, folks. Thank you for that wonderful push. All that stuff is going to be available at store.thewrestlingshow.com. That is available starting tonight. And if you put in the special promo code Facebook, you get 10% off your order.
so I can get an overrating piece of shit shirt.
Yes.
You deserve an underrating piece of shit shirt, but we'll go with whatever you buy.
There's a bunch of different shirts in there, and more are being added as we speak.
As I've learned, the first logo was mine.
And it only took you a whole show with me wearing it before you fucking figured it out.
Sorry, I enjoy marijuana and it affects the fucking memory. What do you want me to do?
Doesn't affect your eyesight. It makes it better. Jesus Christ.
Ryan, do you know who you are?
Clearly not.
Anyway, the match showed that Ciampa can work any style. That's what I wanted to add.
Who didn't know that?
Ryan is his next words, and I'm going to say that match, as compared to how the rest of the card was in the perfect placement because everything else kind of had that little up. You needed something to take down, especially after how good the women's War Games match turned out. You needed something to slow everything down with that pace and bring it back down to a little crawl and go from there. So the match placement of that match and the style of that match was actually perfect for what it is. 17.5 stars.
Wonderful.
Oh my god.
That's too many stars.
Yeah.
Maybe in the Tokyo Dome.
Oh, it was in the CWC, so now it's 35.5 fucking stars.
I'm gonna fucking whip you. In a strap match, Cameron Grimes versus Dexter Loomis, or Dexter Morgan, or Dexter, or I
No,
can't
you
believe
had it right
they're
the first time. You just
or
your
I-
aneurysm in your
or
brain.
I can't believe they're remaking Dexter. Didn't he die in a hurricane then become a lumberjack?
So
I'm
you
a
died in a
lumberjack and
hurricane?
I'm okay.
The motherfucker drove a little boat into the center of a fucking hurricane. That motherfucker dead.
What the fuck does that got to do with wrestling?
That motherfucker dead. Because that's the gimmick of the
That's Sam Shaw's gimmick.
is Dexter Loomis. Have you seen Dexter? Isn't there
First 4 seasons of Dexter, fantastic. That Barrel Girl season, shit. That match, not bad.
So I like this rap match. I actually thought it was really good.
The story they've been telling is really good. And like you can tell the two of the boys that for WWE audience, I'll call it, or newer, but like for anybody that followed any indies or any TNA stuff, like the boys are really good workers as it is.
Mhm.
And the fact that the two of them got a chance to shine and get I'll call it a major pay-per-view match or whatever the fuck you want to call it for network special and stuff, that they got that shine and they're able to go for as long as they did, that shows testaments to both of their skills.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it was way better than their fucking stupid ass Halloween Havoc fucking
Oh,
cinematic
that was so bad.
That was
garbage
ridiculously bad.
shit. But no, this
Listen,
actual match,
we're
I
not
give
going
it.
to talk about cinematic matches. You got to look at them in a different light and a different eye. And if you're not going to do it, just don't fucking watch them. You jaded bitter fuck.
But I have to
Usually-
watch them for
usually-
reviewing the fucking shows.
Usually
You
I
fucking Mark.
no wait no. Usually I agree with Ryan on this. Not with that one. Fuck that match. He can go suck a dick. And
Because zombies only go after one fucking person.
thank you.
Yeah?
Well, then they're still
Fucking
summoned by
Michonne in The
a
Walking
serial
Dead
killer.
proved- Michonne in The Walking Dead proves zombies will only have to go over one person if you strategically do it. And I'm not finishing
Did
that
not
thought.
strategically kill it!
He's going to have to cut that comment out of the whole podcast.
Yep.
Anyway, 3.5 stars. I thought the match was really good. Chip!
I wanted to get into it, but I was so like when I turned on and I saw it, I was just like, "Don't tell me this is going to be just like Halloween Havoc." It was better than Halloween Havoc. It was a good story told. I didn't like. I guess the beginning, like when he was beating the shit out of Dexter. I know he did it to get the upper hand, telling a story and all that, but I just got really bored with that really fast. I would give it 3.
You fucking asshole.
Yep.
Oh, the match was boring. 3 stars. What are you, sleazy now?
I am.
You know,
I am me.
I'm going to sit here and not going to take this bullshit about being compared to Chip.
Hey, asshole, watch it.
Being compared to a Mark.
This is true.
Sleazy, what do you think of it?
I don't remember much of it, honestly.
Mm.
And that's
You were
probably
smoking the marijuana.
Probably. I mean, it was one of those matches where it's like, okay, cool. And I whip out my phone. And it's honestly probably a bad thing to do, but I just couldn't get into it. I really couldn't. I feel bad about rating it this way, but 2 stars. Because I don't remember much of it. Because I wasn't engaged to it.
Now for Sleazy's favorite match type, triple threat match for the NXT North American title. Leon Ruff defends against Johnny Gargano and Damian Priest. Match with 17 minutes and 28 seconds. Oh, Dave Meltzer gave that match 3.25, and he also gave this match 3.25. Sleazy, you're the triple threat wrestling enthusiast.
No, I'm not. Nah, fuck this shit. It was... For a triple threat match, it wasn't terrible. That's it.
The booking of that triple threat match was great.
Well, I liked the angle going into it, but I don't know. It just...
Even how they booked Leon Ruff to leave the match and come back was really good.
Yeah.
And even Damian Priest's little things he did with Leon Ruff was really good. Like,
You can tell that...
personally, I think that.
I think that Damian Priest is an absolute star, and within...
Okay, here's the thing. When he was in ROH as Punishment Martinez, could you say that?
Absolutely
Yes.
not.
100%.
Mm-mm.
I don't think so.
No.
Holy shit,
No,
I didn't
but
realize.
the reason he went to WWE because WWE tried to replace him with Baron Corbin and realized they couldn't replace Punisher Martinez unless they had Punisher Martinez. And then they got him and went, well, I guess you're shaving your head, Corbin, and you're being a stooge. Like, Punisher Martinez, you could see it written in the stars in Ring of Honor that he was going to be big. And now he's in NXT, and the only reason he's not on the main roster is because they got nothing to do with him yet.
I would agree with the second half of your statement. I think that in Ring of Honor, he was a diamond in the rough. I believe that he needed some polishing, and I think NXT gave that to him.
I agree.
That's why he looks so familiar to me. I didn't even realize that.
Yeah, that's Punishment Martinez.
my.
Did you know that Cameron Grimes is Trevor Lee?
Yes, I did know that. But I didn't. My fiance and her daughter, they went and saw a couple shows when they were up in. Well, I'm up in PA now. When they were over in New York or no Lancaster, and that's actually where he's from, and or where he got a lot of his notoriety. And I didn't realize it until you just mentioned it. I'm like, oh shit, that is Punisher Martinez. That's cool. You learn something new every day.
Well, what do you think of the match?
I was like, well, might as well talk now since I thought it was an okay match. I do like. I mean, I knew that it was going to be. Actually, I thought it was kind of fast that what's his name returned. Oh god damn it.
Leon Ruff?
No,
Oh, it's me, Austin.
not Austin Theory. No. God damn it.
It was me all along.
Oh, no. The guy just came back from a shoulder injury. I cannot remember his name.
Oh, Karrion Kross.
Thank you, Karrion Kross.
Yeah.
I thought it was, when I heard the TikTok, I knew exactly what it was going to do, and it's going to start an angle between him and Damian Priest, but I didn't realize that he had healed so fast, because it wasn't that long ago that he got shoulder surgery. But you knew he'd be coming back for his title.
Yeah, most of the time with injuries and stuff too, they try to play it up as this big fucking thing, but it never is. Like, that's the worst part about it. Oh, this guy's going, he's injured, and he's leaving. We're going to strip the belt off him. But you had the fucking belt on Lesnar for a year and a half, maybe, and he defended the title within like 90 days of each. Don't tell me you're going to pull the fucking belt on Karrion Kross because he can't defend it in 30 days. That's fucking stupid.
They use that rule whenever they want. But what did that had to do with how the match went?
Well, I told you, I mean, it was just a setup for the return of Karrion Kross. So the match was good, but it didn't blow me away.
Huh?
Okay, sure.
What a fucking mark.
You know,
Ryan.
shut up, asshole.
Ryan.
I enjoyed it, but like I said, I enjoyed the story that match told anyways. Like, the storylines are pretty cool. I really enjoy everything after the fact that Leon Ruff has been getting wins and like that shock thing. It's basically a new dark Mikey Whipwreck. But it's more of a... I knew you were going to pop for that. But it's more of a... Leon Ruff is really good anyways. And to throw him in with two hands like Gargano, who's fucking fantastic at what he does.
Oh, yeah.
And Damian Priest, who just keeps getting better. Like, it was the perfect little storyline to throw him in, because in a year or 2 years, when you're like Leon Ruff, you're going to be like, I know that guy. I remember him from blah, 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 blah. But this is the perfect introduction for him. Here's a title win. Anything can happen in NXT. Yeah, you lost it a little bit later, but your name is now established with these guys that you can go.
Right. Fuck all y'all hoes. The match was 4 stars. Great triple threat match.
You overrating
Fuck you
piece
guys,
of shit.
you like that match. My liking is better.
All 3 men shined. Even Ruff when he came back. I thought Priest was actually the star of the match.
In a match featuring Gargano.
Gargano with the ghost faces, I think, were a little too much. Maybe he should have had just one come down, not 10,000. But other than that, I thought the match was fucking great.
Yeah, fucking Mark.
You're a Mark. Men's War Game match. Undisputed Era, which we all know.
Do we?
Chip doesn't. Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly, Bobby Fish, and Roderick
I know who
Strong
they are.
Hey.
versus Team
Chubbs.
McAfee, which is Pat McAfee, Pete Dunne, Danny Burch, and Oni Lorcan.
No, you didn't say it
Give me
right.
another year of Pat
Oni and
McAfee.
Tui. There you go.
Thank
fucker.
you.
Give me another year of Pat McAfee in the NXT, and I will claim he's better than Kevin Green.
He's better now.
I agree.
I only say he's not just because that's fantastic, and you can come in and have a little quick fucking run and be really good on the mic and bullshit your way through some matches. Kevin Green actually fucking wrestled. Pat McAfee is good. Pat McAfee has the athleticism, but give me something more than Adam Cole, who could fucking wrestle a broomstick.
And Pat McAfee just got taken off NXT television.
They don't want to use him every week, and it's a waste. Like,
Especially
what
now.
I read was they're like, we don't want to overexpose him. That's fucking smart. Have him show up on the big events.
It's an attraction.
Yeah. Like, Pat McAfee, when he's there, should be something special. You got fucking Pete Dunne, who's going to run through most of the roster anyways. He doesn't need anybody else. You got only Lorcan and Danny Burch said, this is the best time in their career right now. They probably should have had the tag belts 2 years ago as a quick little transition between champions. Let them fucking run with these now. If you're not going to give them to Killian Dane and Drake Magritte for that feel-good moment, let Oni Lorcan and Danny Burch have them for 6 months to a year.
Yep.
They are the revival of this generation's NXT. So in about 2 years, they're going to start beef with the Young Bucks, leave, and go to AEW.
Oh, no. They will start beef with Top Flight because we need to have a new fucking stupid Young Bucks.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. I mean,
The
oh, go ahead. Sorry.
So, fuck Dave Meltzer rated the match.
The match went 45 minutes and a second. Fuck Dave Meltzer gave it 4 3/4 stars.
Why not give it 5 stars?
Because it wasn't in the fucking goddamn Tokyo Dome.
I'm wrong.
What?
No, it's 5 stars.
What?
It was a 5-star match.
Oh,
It was the best war game match I've ever seen.
really?
Wow.
That's coming from the NWA guy.
I was just going to say, it was like, you're the guy that loves
This
fucking
match was
Howard
fucking
Draws.
fit. The only little beef I had with it,
And it's not
it's
5 stars if you got a beef.
it's only because Fish got hurt and he wasn't able to get into the right spot at the right time.
I did see that.
Other than that, that was it. That was the only fucking hiccup that I saw in the match. But it was fucking awesome.
Fat Man's
I'm looking at my notes.
He can't say it.
The bitter end on the fucking chair was sick as fuck.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
Yes, it was.
And I'm trying to look at my notes, see what I didn't fucking write or didn't say. But man,
Let me throw this out for you. Has this been the first time that you've given 5 stars to a match featuring a celebrity?
Oh my God.
and it's the second 5-star match I've given out all year.
He's clearly never watched John Cena and Kevin Federer. I couldn't even get it out of my mouth.
I dare
Is
say
that the only thing you weren't able to get out of your mouth?
wow. I dare say this was the highest rated match that Fuck Dave Meltzer has given that featured a celebrity as well.
Are you sure
At
Dave
4
Meltzer gave this 5 stars?
No,
Yeah,
4
because when I-
3/4.
4 3/4.
This is a 5-star match. I watched a video the other day, and it was every 5-star match of 2020. And the beginning of the video went, no, Roman Reigns and Jey Uso from Hell in a Cell is not on that match. Yes, it should be there.
Nope.
No, Sasha Banks
No
and
way.
Bailey from Hell in a Cell is not on that match. Yes, it should be there.
Nope.
And when we do the shitty, you're wrong. Yes, it should be. But when we do the shitty awards, that Raw Rumble match from this year, not on that match, should have been on that list
Not
of
a 5-star
5-star
match.
matches.
Not a 5-star match.
Yeah, but you're bitter and fucking if it's not an hour long with 2 guys being fucking useless. You're not going to understand a 5-star match. It's not a 5-star match. That Royal Rumble match, when we deal with the shitties, we'll go into it
I can't
more,
wait to
was
deal
a
with the
5-star
shitties
match.
this year. I am really excited. So, spoiler, you guys, the next show that we're doing is the Shitties, aka the Wrestling Show Awards. We will be doing 13 categories this year. We're going to have a special one, but I'm not going to reveal it until you have to look for it on Instagram /Facebook /Twitter.
You're a mark.
I know, but I got to put us over somehow.
Fucking mark. Well, as I said,
Are you talking
as
to
I
your
said,
kid?
I gave 2 5-star matches this year. This one, and then there was one more. So I'm not going to say it.
Which
I,
was?
I
I'm not
remember
going to
it.
say it.
I remember it.
It was Lana
So-
Nia Jax.
Of course it was. 100%.
I will
It was at
fly
one
to
time-
the States and
it was
give
one
you
time-
a bowl eye.
It was
No,
at one time
actually-
that Nia Jax put Lana through the table.
Shameless plug. You know what, Fat Man? I hope you step on Lego.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
No,
You
I
can get that
remember when
t-shirt.
that shit was. It was actually the last episode I was on. He gave a 5-star match.
Wow.
I think it was.
So it was
yeah,
19 Dickety 2 because we couldn't say the number 3 in the Dicketies.
Oh my god.
Chip, did you talk about the Morgan's match?
Yeah, I could talk about it if I want to. No, I'm just kidding. It was a really, really good match. I wouldn't give it a 5-star rating. Unfortunately,
You're wrong.
I'm gonna be with Dave Meltzer and give it 4 3/4. But it was one of the better matches I've seen this year, straight up. And Buck, did you say that was on YouTube? Where can I find that video of the top 5-star matches of 2020?
Under Wrestle Talk was what and like I just love top 10 matches anyway, or top 10 lists and stuff. Under Wrestle Talk, they had the 5-star matches rated by Dave Meltzer, not the ones that they picked. It was every match that Dave Meltzer claimed was a 5-star or more match.
That could be like
So,
a 25-page.
New Japan and AEW.
Yeah, basically.
Yes, 100%. There might have been one WWE match on that list, but
I don't
like
think
all of
it
it was
was.
like New Japan, AEW.
There were
And
only
NXT?
2 in AEW, I think, this year.
There's
From
I
Meltzer.
remember one in AEW, but I do remember one in NXT as well.
There was no 5-star match in AEW this year.
According to
No,
Meltzer.
you're
You called one. You called it.
You
I
are
didn't.
100% wrong if you don't think there was at least one 5-star match
There was
in
no
AEW.
5-star match in AEW this year.
Yes, there was because I was living in Glen Burnie when I recorded this episode with you guys.
Now, you just said there's no 5-star match, and you're the one that said there was a 5-star match there, tithead.
I never said.
No,
I said
I
there
said
was
there
2
were
5-star matches.
Yeah?
I never said in one company. There was no 5-star match in AEW this year. There were 2 that I rated 4 3/4, but there was no 5-star match in AEW this year. Brian's writing it down.
Wrong. No, you're 100% wrong. Now, I know your exact response is going to be, well, you're the tag team guys. That's what you said.
The funny thing is, they were both tag team matches. They were. The 2 matches I rated, the one from Revolution, Omega and
Page versus Young Bucks.
Bucks, and then
5 stars. Because anything over 5 stars is Dave Meltzer being a piece of shit, but that was a 5-star match.
it was not. And then the Revival versus Young Bucks, and the only reason I did not give that 5 stars because the ending was fucking stupid.
Dave Meltzer gave that 5 stars. That match was not 5 stars.
Yeah, 100% agree in there.
I didn't give it 5 stars.
None of us did.
No, but that's what I mean. Dave Meltzer said he was on that 5-star
Yeah.
matches, but he gave that 5 star. That match was not a 5-star match. Listen, that seems like shit we sidetracked for next week. Are we done with War Games?
Sleazy hasn't talked about it.
Sleazy, talk about the 4 3/15 star match of male War Games.
First of all, I want to rate it 4.978 stars.
So round
Stop.
it up as 5 stars.
Stop. Okay. Before you continue talking, what was that match mixing that you decided that 0.03 stars wasn't enough to put it at 5 stars?
First of all, it was 0.023.
I don't give a fuck what the number is. What did you decide was not in that match that is not letting that be a 5-star match?
No, it was a 5-star match. Absolutely it was.
Fucking idiot.
It was absolutely a 5-star match. Fucking A, it's the best War Games I've ever seen. And
I agree with that.
what was there to complain about? There was absolutely nothing wrong with that match. And I can't believe I'm saying this with a fucking
Conviction.
punter was part of the match. This should be a huge wake-up call to the both main rosters. If you are sitting here with Pat McAfee doing a better job than half of the main roster, who said that?
CM Punk.
Thank you. He's absolutely right on that. 100% right on that. They should be ashamed because at the end of the day, one of the main problems with the main roster is that they're stuck having that battle with Vince. If they went out there and did their own fucking thing, just to tell them to go fuck themselves, especially in this day and age where if you get fired as a main guy, AEW will pick you up.
Yeah, and make you a mid-card fucking cult leader.
Which was better, I might add, than what he was doing then.
Okay, so my problem with all of this is what you're saying is, yeah, I get Pat McAfee has been doing fantastic, but people like yourself, people like CM Punk, gotta look at it. When he had his match with Adam Cole, he was forced to work. Putting him in a War Games match, as much as I like Pat McAfee, they did everything they could to hide any single flaw that kid had. So, like,
but at the same,
it's hard to range it.
but that's what they should have been doing. They should be doing that. He had
No,
one match.
not after his match with Adam Cole.
No, he had one match, one singles
Yeah.
match,
Fantastic match.
and it
They
was
didn't need to
a
run
really,
anything with
really,
him.
really good match. But what I'm saying is, after only one match, you think he's going to go out there and carry a match? No, that was absolutely the right decision to do, and the match was better for it.
Additionally,
He should have did the EORI spot.
you can
That would have been awesome.
here's the thing is that while yes, from a performance standpoint, Yeah, he's green. He's green as fuck. But you don't just I mean, it's one thing to get
Keep going. I gotta pee.
you into the groove of promos and stuff, but promos are not something you can quickly learn. You know what I mean? You can't go out into a WWE ring and immediately throw a microphone in a lot of these guys' faces and expect them to spend gold. And Pat McAfee has.
Yes, but Pat McAfee's been doing his own. If you're looking at it that way, Pat McAfee's been doing a podcast forever and all that shit. Like, he's used to talking. When he got on NXT TV and started talking, he already knew what to fucking do. It was, he did that match against Cole. Everybody was blown away. Sort of like, let's do a second one with him. They put him in War Games. I personally don't think they needed to protect Pat McAfee the way they did. He could have did a lot more and looked like more credible of a wrestler.
I've been working on a podcast for 8 fucking years.
Outside of how long we go, our podcasts are great. I don't know what you're talking about.
Where am I in the wrestling business? You know what I mean?
You're in a good position in doing podcasts.
Exactly.
But again, you've done podcasts so much. The only thing outside the podcast is just we go really long because we get tangible. You put Pat McAfee in that War Games match and let him actually. You put him in early and have him take a big bump and he's gone for most of it. That's fine. But you can put Pat McAfee in after that Adam Cole match and he can fucking hold his own.
I'm not saying he can't. I'm making the point of that this guy is better than, or working better than most of the rosters are.
But
that's what my complaint.
He wasn't working better than most of the roster. They protected the fuck out of him. Dude, I could have a match against you and we could have a 4-on-4 and we can protect the absolute fuck out of you and you can do 3 moves and everybody like, that guy was great. He did 3 fucking moves. You don't need to protect Pat McAfee is what I'm looking at. He could have did a lot more. You could have put him in 3rd instead of last. And Pat McAfee understands how to sell. Pat McAfee understands how to tell a story. And you could have got away with it instead of putting him in last and limited whatever the fuck he did.
I agree with you. You're making my point for me. Believe it or not.
That's good then.
You're literally making my point for me. Is the fact that Pat McAfee... Don't even think about what they did with him in this match in terms of protected him. I'm saying that he's good enough that he doesn't need to be protected, but that should be a shot against everybody else in that locker room by saying you should be at least at that level being here for 5 or 6 years. And there are guys on that roster that have been in NXT for 3, 4, 5, 6 years. There have been guys on the main roster that have been here for 5, 10 years that aren't working as good as Pat fucking McAfee.
Who's that guy?
I was going to say Dolph Ziggler.
What?
Yeah.
No.
I'm down.
Yes.
I'm down.
No.
Batman puts dick back in your pants is okay.
That's my point. You're going to tell me that Dolph Ziggler is working harder than Pat McAfee right now. He's phoning it in more than Nakamura is.
Now, to be fair, Dolph Ziggler might be phoning it in. He's still 15 fucking degrees ahead of Pat McAfee when he phones it in. Randy Orton is a perfect example. He phoned that shit in for years until you give him a good storyline, and then Orton goes, I'm gonna burn the Fiend. Fucking God, let's go.
Hey, fuck it, let's do murder.
Hey, what? What are we going to spoil TLC? We've been talking about War Games too long. Let's go right into fucking TLC if it's the next show.
Wrong. ROH Final Battle, bitch.
I knew I was wrong. I was just trying to fucking speed the process along.
Well, everyone agrees that War Games was great.
Yeah.
Once again, NXT showed off a perfect fucking show. And I use perfect in terms of it was nice from start to finish. The build was really good. NXT is never disappointed on their big shows.
Their shittiest match is still better than, spoiler, what I think this next show is going to be.
Yeah. So Chip didn't watch it.
Nope.
Luckily for him.
Luckily for him.
Jim didn't watch it, and the 3 of us clearly agree that the Ring of Honor pay-per-view was just like, meh.
It was there.
So, like, we can rapid fire through this.
Okay. ROH Tag Team Titles, the Foundation versus Mark Briscoe and PCO. 12 minutes, 50 seconds. Okay, match for a house show.
With little opener, fans probably could have helped the reaction a bit.
2 stars.
Dalton Castle versus Ray Hornus or
Horace.
whatever. Ray Hor.
Ray Horniness.
Ray Hor.
He-
9 minutes 10 seconds. I thought the match was actually good. Right guy went over 3 stars.
I loved it.
Okay.
3.5.
Okay, little match for something that got
Dalton
started around
Castle, Mark.
the COVID scares.
Dalton Castle mark.
I knew that was coming.
No, and it's not a Dawson. We'll stop for a second. That was a good little match for something that really got thrown together quickly with all the fuck ups that they had.
That's true.
I agree. I thought it was a good match. 3
Because
stars.
it was
Sleazy's like 9,000
Shitty match.
stars.
well, who was it? It was it was supposed to be a 6-man, right?
Yes, and the Mexico, the new Mexicals couldn't show up, and then Shane Taylor and the boss are like, "We don't want a tag title like this. We'll fight them next time. Fuck off. Take your fucking belt and then make it even a better angle." But I digress. Good little filler match.
The OGK, I'm assuming that's the original Kingdom, versus the Righteous. 16 minutes, 19 seconds, 2 stars. The fucking match, I thought, did not do it for me. It went way too long. The Righteous one should have won if they were going to get their heat back at the end anyway. So it makes no sense.
It was a feel-good moment for Bennett to be back in Ring of Honor, but the reality was, I hate to say this, but nobody
You
cared.
needed that feel good moment on this show with Mike Bennett. He's back and he gets to have a bit more fun. The Righteous is the guys you're going to push more than anything else, but let the Kingdom have their little fucking moment.
Yeah, I'm not against the booking situation. I just didn't like the match.
Brian Johnson versus Danhausen?
If
Oh,
Danhausen
fuck
won,
is
he
this?
got a Ring of Honor contract.
And then he won by DQ, and it was greasy and fucking stupid. And why are you booking this guy next?
I like Danhausen. Okay, I do.
So do I. I see this the first time I've seen him. I think the character has a ton of potential.
That character has a ton of potential in the early 90s in WWE, not fucking Ring of Honor.
Not 2020 Ring of
No,
Honor.
you're right, though. You are right.
Yeah, you're not wrong. I've seen him a few times before, obviously because I'm an indie wrestling mark, obviously. But yeah, shock of shocks there. But yeah, this was not. Well, this wasn't a great way to showcase him. It was a weird. It was a weird match to showcase him in.
Who is Brian Johnson to where he need to be protected by DQ?
I know that's the other weird part. He isn't. The entire match was kind of dumb.
He wasn't protected by the DQ. That was done solely to give him a cheeky way to get a contract. That was nothing to do with protecting Brian
He
Johnson.
Eddie Guerrero'd him.
Yeah. It was dumb. It is
Yeah.
what my answer is. Even for Danhausen, it was dumb.
Yeah, because it doesn't fit the character. World Television Championship, Dragon Lee defense against Tony Deppen. 11 minutes, 50 seconds. Match of the night, 3.5 stars. Really good match. Nothing else more.
Yeah.
Agreed. I mean, right down to the star rating.
Shane Taylor versus there is no way Jay Briscoe is winning the ROH World title. He's no-selling me. What a bitch.
He is.
And yeah, solely because you said it.
13 minutes, 49 seconds. Right guy went over. It was an okay match for a house show.
You're not wrong.
I didn't understand. Well, I kind of did, but I didn't understand why Mark was down there before the match was over. But I understood where they were going with it, but I didn't understand why they did it before he lost. I guess I don't know. I don't understand it. I guess I don't understand the booking of it. The match was. I'm not a huge fan of Shane Taylor, and I hate saying that, but it's the truth. And I'm not a huge fan of Jay Briscoe's singles matches.
I feel if anything, well, fuck Jay Briscoe. I feel if anything, Shane Taylor got hurt by this pay-per-view because they were supposed to win the 6-man tag belts.
Mm-hmm. That's
Right. And then
why. That's why I think they gave him the win over Briscoe.
Yeah, to give him heat.
A former 2-time world champion. You know,
Isn't he 3-time?
2, I think. It might be 3. I'm not sure. They said 2-time on the broadcast. So
I thought he was.
I think
3.
Adam Cole's the only 2 or 3-time champion.
Maybe it's Cole.
Yes, he is.
ROH Pure Championship, Jonathan Gresham versus Flip Gordon match with 24 minutes 37 seconds.
What the fuck happened to Flip Gordon? Jesus Christ!
2 3/4, slightly above average match. I think they would have had a better match if they would have mixed in Gordon's high flying while trying to keep the pure style. They didn't do. You don't think it would have worked?
No, as much as I like Flip Gordon as high flying style, that whole pure division, you can't put a high flyer in there. It's just
So then, sorry to interrupt. So you're just saying pretty much Flip was the wrong opponent.
Flip's wrestling style with the high flying, when he has that army background, could have got away with wrestling an actual wrestling match compared to the high flying stuff.
Okay.
I think Flip Gordon could have pulled off an actual wrestling match there, and he had the opportunity, and he decided not to.
And I think the ending sucked. Flip kicked out, but then the ref stopped it anyway. That fucking made no sense. It was stupid.
Good old Ring of Honor.
Yeah,
Ring of Honor used to be really good.
Like 4 years ago, 5 years ago.
do you know when it happened? I can tell you exactly the day it happened. It was the day that the Young Bucks were basically told by Ring of Honor, "We don't really need you to keep going here." You know, that's when it really died. Because
and when AEW came around, because they pretty much took a lot of the talent to AEW.
yeah, but part of the reason why AEW existed, other than the fact that Hulk Hogan created it.
Okay.
I'm waiting for the tweet in about 2 to 3 days where Hulk Hogan claims that he made Brody Lee into the star he is today. But here's the thing, is that when Ring of Honor's, and I'm not sure if it was Delirious or if it was Kerry or whoever it was that said that to the Young Bucks and basically New Japan that we don't really need you to draw here, should be now looking at the last year and a half of the garbage that's been.
Yeah.
I would go even. The last time they had a good show was probably Supercard of Honor. That's still
Which
going
is
on.
still going on
So-
because there was no Supercard of Honor in 2019, and because of the pandemic, there was no Supercard of Honor. So that show is still fucking going on.
Yes.
That was so fucking long.
That show is still going on. Curtis Axel's still in the fucking Royal Rumble.
Fuck off. No one cares about
Also true.
that. ROH World Championship. Roosh defends against Brody King. 16 minutes, 35 seconds.
Ooh.
Okay.
The big fat Canadian.
Okay. Chip.
Yeah, okay.
Ryan. Go ahead, Ryan.
Anybody else sick of Rush's title reign?
100%.
Like, you could have put that belt on him for a couple of months and passed it off to somebody else. I don't know what it is. I just don't like him as Ring of Honor champion. You can put him in anywhere belt, it's fine. I don't like him. I don't know what it is. He's not a fucking Ring of Honor world champion to me. And I've been watching Ring of Honor a long time from the beginning. I just don't think Rush fits the stereotypical Ring of Honor champion. When
He's an MCW champion, that's why.
It was a 2-star match. So the commentators talked about them using weapons, or else they'll get DQ'd. Immediately after that, they start using weapons. It
This is a
didn't.
TNA show?
Yeah.
Did not feel like a main event to a pay-per-view.
Not at all.
It felt like a main event to one of their TV shows.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it was a glorified fucking TV show that you paid $30 for.
I'd pay for
Girls
it.
Gone Wild and be 17 times more satisfied.
Only 17.
Well, I mean, like, eventually got to run out of cum.
Just wait a day. Jesus.
No. See, I don't think you've known me for 7 years.
Pause. Zoom, zoom, zoom. Fast forward, rewind, pause.
I need to have a VCR that has the little dial to go back and forth.
God, you turn with one hand, you jerk with the other. It was fantastic. It was like turn jerk, turn jerk, turn jerk. Ooh.
It's going to be anorexic, Jesus Christ. Ambidextrous.
The episode of Family Guy where Quagmire discovers internet porn. He turns around, his arm is like
disarm
huge.
and disarm.
His arm's fucking huge. So overall, it was an okay show for a house show.
Hey! I need to talk about the main event here.
Talk about the main
Are
event.
you going to say anything different than we said?
Probably not.
I want to make a point about Roosh as a world champion.
Rush.
Who Roosh?
It's Roosh.
Boys, R-U-S-H spells what? Not Roosh. Rush.
It's Rouge.
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 It's the Moulin Rouge.
R-O-U-G-H-E is not a fucking color. This guy's name is Rush. He's like Sonic.
Did he say R-O-U-G-H-E?
Yes, he did.
That is
Rouge?
No,
Rouge.
it's R-O-U-G-E, idiot.
That's Rogue.
Boys, I'm Canadian. We add H's and U's to everything. You fucking know
That is also true.
Shut up, eh?
So
Keep
here's
it on, eh?
Fucking
Hey,
Canuck.
Sleazy, just go.
I'm trying. Who else on their roster would be a convincing world champion? You've got
Jay.
Fuck Jay Briscoe.
No, as much as I want to say fuck Jay Briscoe, he's not wrong. Jay Briscoe would be a more credible world champion.
I said Jay Lethal, not Jay Briscoe.
He
but
did.
Okay.
Jay Lethal's had it so long that I don't think he should touch that title for like 2 more
I
years.
think Jonathan Gresham would make a good world champion.
I think he's doing great with the pure title right
Yes. Jonathan Gresham.
So do I too. That title, they brought that title back just for him.
now. Yeah, oh, absolutely they did. But here's the thing. You've got Dalton Castle as a former world champion.
Mhm.
You've got Jay Briscoe, which, like it or not, he is a multiple-time champion. Jay
See
Lethal.
this? You see this? Jay Briscoe, I don't give two fucks. You ruined my 2013 Friday night just because you decided you were going to beat Kevin Steen when nobody would have fucking bet on you winning that cocksucking belt.
I just want to point out, nobody has ever seen the footage of that because they went out on pay-per-view. It got cut before the finish. So it never happened. It only happened for the live people. The next
Just
day
like
of the show.
Just like Super Card of Honor, we were there live, but you can't find it on Honor Club.
Yep. That's because it's still going on.
That's right. It's still going on.
So I've named 3 people for world champion. Okay. Who else?
You could
Shane Taylor?
Yes.
that.
I was going to say Shane
Could put it
Taylor.
on Mark Briscoe.
I mean, yeah.
You
Been
put
there
it on
long
Mark-
enough.
If you put
But
it on
he'll be a
Mark Briscoe,
transitional champion.
that's what I was going to say. You put it on Mark Briscoe. He's got that for till the next pay-per-view. Haha, chicken kung fu, one title, Vince.
Yeah.
To be fair, because they've done it already, you could have put that belt on EC3 and nobody would have added an eyelash.
I
Well,
would agree with
EC3 is
that.
out with- yeah, EC3 is a good choice if it was not with COVID. But yeah, no,
But
I think they really did keep it on Roosh because they got no one else right now.
Yeah, and that was my point, is that there's not that many people that are credible contenders to the championship right now.
You fucking named 3. What do you mean there's not that many? You named 3
There-
without batting an eyelash.
Yeah, but they're doing other things.
Mm-hmm.
You
Jay Briscoe,
In theory,
got fucked
he
over
was-
his match and could have easily been put in that main event as a triple threat match. We understand how easy
you could have
it
done the
is to
same
pull a
thing with
triple threat
PCO
match.
though. You could have absolutely done the same thing with PCO. He's also a
Fuck
former
PCO.
world champion.
Oh, Matt Taven,
He's busy with Mike Bennett.
Mike Bennett.
No. As we've
He's
learned,
busy
you
with
can
Matt
put a tag
Taven.
team. You can put a guy in a tag team in a singles title feud and still be able to rock the tag team, especially when you're taping 4 episodes a fucking week. Like when you do your run, you could do that. Ring of Honor has the availability to put the belt on more guys that you wouldn't expect, or a tag team guy that could be pushed because of how they tape everything. They
And
were
also-
taping it that way before COVID.
Yeah,
And
that's
also,
true.
do-
Yeah.
Going back to Sleazy when he said that when who was it, Gabe Sapolsky or Delirious said the Young Bucks, you don't need them to draw. That's, I don't want to say it's technically true, but they're a broadcasting company that owns the company. They can put on any station they want.
Yeah.
So I mean,
Like what is your goal with Ring of Honor?
right. It's just
I mean, are
it's
you
just filler for syndicated TV spots?
and if that's the case,
It's
anybody could be
cheaply
the world
made.
champion.
It's cheaply made, and it probably gets a decent rating. So, cheaply made, decent rating. You They don't need draws.
Here's the problem with
I
that.
don't think they're I don't think they're there to make. I hate to say they're not there to make money because that's fucking stupid. But
It's not,
they
no,
don't. They don't.
For me, as a guy that
Need to
ran
make
a
money?
promotion for a long enough time, Buzz, they got a big TV deal. They got somebody paying for them. You don't need to worry about making money. And it's just personal preference out of me. Like when I was running shows here, my goal was never to make money. My goal was always to break even because once you break even, you know you can have another show and do it again. So like to make money for Ring of Honor at this point, when you're already on a fucking TV station that is just hurting for footage, it don't matter if you make money.
Right.
They're still going to run you anyways.
That's kind of my point. Like
then it goes back
like
to.
it's,
Well, here's the thing. Then it goes back to the original reason why we said this. Who shouldn't be a Ring of Honor world champion then? Just pass the belt around to everyone. Go in the back. Delirious
your
will have
mom.
300. Go in the back. Have 300 straws that Delirious is holding, and the person who picks the short straw gets to be world champion that week.
the cameraman.
I was just going to say
That was
fucking
Cheeseburger.
becomes a world
Yeah,
champion,
see?
and that's- fuck's sakes. I'd rather put the belt on Fat Man than Cheeseburger.
At least
So
I'm a gimmick.
for sure, you guys
Exactly.
are
You're a
complaining
gimmick
about.
and you understand how to fucking sell and not be. No, I'm going to stop there. Next.
I was going to
So-
say,
Now,
Fat Man
what? Do
hasn't
it. Say it.
sold for me.
Say it.
No, because
Say
if
it.
I say it's sleazy, got to edit the fucking 3 seconds that I said the word out of the podcast, so I'm not saying this.
Thank you. I
So for
appreciate
sure,
that.
you guys said fucking stuff we've been talking about now for 35 to 45 minutes. Just fair enough. Warning.
I'm going to put it this way, Chip. As good as the Ring of Honor show could have been, my same issue with the Ring of Honor pay-per-view is my same issue with what TNA is right now. I enjoy it, but no fans or no piped-in sound absolutely hurts the product. If you don't got at least a yay or boo, if it's just dead fucking silence and all you can hear is the wrestlers going, it takes away from it.
It does. It does, and that's why I believe that NXT and AEW have done right with the Thunderdome and the live audiences, because it goes for any sport. I'm watching basketball now, and it's just so weird not hearing anyone there. And occasionally with the football games, there are fans there somewhat, but they do pipe in the sound at the football games.
Have we sit here and say fuck 2020 more than oh my god, the Bills are what are they, AFC East champions?
So it
They're
took
killing
Brady going to my Bucks and COVID for the Bills to win the fucking AFC East. I ain't gonna do it next year.
No, basically it just took Brady going down to Tampa. They had control. After Brady left Tampa, New England, and left for Tampa, New England was nothing. They had no chance in hell. And Buffalo, and well as Josh Allen is performing, hands
That's all
down was
Diggs.
going to be the AFC East champion.
That's all Diggs. You watch Allen last year, you watch Allen this year. He's making the same stupid throws, but Diggs is bailing him out every time. So
not the game last night. The last night's game, he was
I didn't
perfect.
watch last night's game. You tell me that throw to Diggs, that third touchdown pass, that easily could have been picked off. He got lucky. Anyway, it was an okay show for a house show.
I disagree.
No.
I don't think it was even that good.
I didn't think there was really anything offensively bad on it, but there was nothing that was absolutely you gotta watch.
Oh, absolutely not.
Go out of your way to watch. So
The thing is,
I'm going to transition before we talk about TLC because I wrote a note down and I want to talk about it. As Ryan's got his mic muted, and I really want to get his take on it.
He's probably hearing you, but
I know he is.
No, I have my lovely drink girl bringing me a new drink. That's why I was muted for a second as I spoke to her as you guys talked.
What a lazy bitch.
I'm not lazy. She offered to make my drinks while I do the podcast so I didn't have to go home. As I'm
Make
here
your
to do
drinks.
it.
I was going to say, make your drink. How hard is it to pour Pepsi into a fucking bottle?
there's
anyway,
something behind that.
An alcoholic beverage. Now, what did you
Pepsi
want my
and-
opinion on?
Pepsi and cum. Anyway,
Oh,
yes, probably at the end of it, but I'm not home.
no.
This is phenomenal.
What did you want my opinion on?
the AEW Impact relationship.
Oh yeah. We've been.
Has anybody else talked, or am I the first one to go?
No,
you're the
you're the
first one
first.
because I know I watch Impact too. So,
Okay.
Me too.
so I know you would. So you do Chip also?
Yes, I do.
Okay. So
Oh my God, Chip, welcome. First off, welcome, because
I thought it'd
nobody
just
else
be a
fucking watches it religiously like me.
So
I started watching when all the guys from WWE went to TNA, and then when Kenny Omega started cross branding between AEW.
So basically, before Bound for Glory. So you're a couple of months into the invested storyline. Okay, I'll give you your plea, Fat Man. Impact and AEW's relationship now is going to help every other single company / business in the North American territory besides WWE, because it's going to prove that you can work together and not be egotistical fucking maniacs and put people over when you want and not put people over when you want. WWE could have done this, and they've shown glimpses of doing this when they did the New Japan thing with Juice and Thunder Liger and Tyler Breeze fucking years ago. But I think Tony Khan understands where it's good. I know they're trying to get Don Callis to go to AEW when his contract expires to manage Kenny Omega. This helps Impact Wrestling more than anything else. They get to have a bit of fun with the fucking name they're calling them now, which is the Super Elite instead of just calling them the Bullet Club. Kenny Omega, an AEW champion, gets to wrestle on an Impact pay-per-view, which makes it even better, and tops Taz versus Triple H, WWE versus ECW champion on SmackDown. Everybody benefits from this but WWE, and if anything WWE is going to take from this, they really got to fucking understand to work with another promotion. They were trying to do it with Evolve, but they just couldn't get past it. I really think that once Vince McMahon dies and Triple H takes over this way, you're going to see WWE working with promotions like what AEW and Impact is. So they're building the foundation for Triple H to work on to perfect the foundation of cross promotion with companies.
okay. I think this helps Impact the absolute most. And I think it's good for them to do it. They'd be stupid if they didn't.
Oh my God, yes.
So, drink.
I wish Chip's camera was on so we can see him drink too, but we all drank at the same time then.
Actually, I didn't. I don't have a beer. I'm just up here hanging out and talking to you guys.
I
What a bitch.
am drinking Dew from the Mountain.
That doesn't shock me.
Sleazy went up and he jerked off a mountain goat. Anyway,
That's come from.
I do think that I hate you. I do think that it helps Impact the most. Does it hurt WWE?
No, I don't think so.
Not really. I mean, it does now, but I don't think it will in the future because this is eventually going to have to end unless, like, Sleazy's.
No.
And then here's the thing. Here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. And Sleazy's been saying this all along. Then why doesn't just fucking Tony Khan buy Impact?
The same reason
it'll
Vince
probably
McMahon
happen.
hasn't bought Impact yet.
It'll probably happen.
Yeah.
Tony will buy it.
It has to eventually end. There has to be an end game to this.
No, there doesn't, because when you look at how WWE treated Evolve or WWE treated ECW, it's the same way how AEW is going to treat Impact. You don't need an end game to take advantage of a couple of months of promotion or crossover.
Wait a second.
You don't need an end game with that.
What did you say? WWE and ECW working together. Who bought ECW?
WWE 5
Okay.
years later.
Okay. So wait a
if you
second.
wanna predict
Wait,
the
no.
fucking future,
I'm not
5
done
years
yet. I'm not done yet.
Impact buying them?
I'm not done yet. Who bought Evolve?
WWE 7 years after Evolve opened. Again, if you want to place going into the future, that's fine. And if you want to say in 5 years, AEW will buy Impact, again, great. And when we do this podcast in 5 years, I will gladly fucking tell you you're right. I'm just saying, when you look at it that way, you don't need to do all the rest of the stuff for the promotion that isn't as high as the first promotion to benefit from.
Here's my take on this. Very simple on what everyone said here. Do you think it helped Impact? I don't watch it.
1000%.
I don't watch Impact. I watched those 2 episodes. That's all you have to say.
And the funny thing was, like I said to the boys, was Kenny Omega drew fuck all fans, but Impact had like a 300% increase. Because when you look at the numbers of everything, Kenny Omega only drew like an extra 50 to 150,000 fans, but Impact had a huge fucking jump on everything that they did.
I would agree, because it wasn't the fact that Kenny Omega drew the fans. It was the fact that there was an invasion of another major company into Impact that drew the fans.
Was it an invasion though?
Yeah,
Like,
it was in the fact that there was an AEW wrestler appearing on TNA TV. I don't think it mattered if it was Kenny Omega or the Young Bucks or Cody Rhodes or
It would have.
it had to have been one of them, but
I think
wouldn't
it
call
could have
it
been done
invasion.
with Anna
That same
Page.
reaction with fucking Joey Janela or Sonny Kiss.
I would
Let's just put that out there.
No,
Yeah.
you're correct in that, but I think that having whoever was the champion come on the show was a major thing. I think that if Brody Lee was the TNA champion and he went to Impact and did the same exact thing, I think it would also have gotten a huge pop.
I don't think so. I think depending on who the champion, again, and if the AEW champion is Joey Janela, nobody gives 2 fucks. If the AEW champion is anybody in the maker, if Darby Allin, I'll use. If it's Darby Allin, nobody gives a fuck. If it wasn't Omega, if it wasn't the Young Bucks, if it wasn't Cody, anybody else in that roster not named Chris Jericho, wouldn't have fucking mattered.
Okay. I
agree.
disagree with that, but
I actually agree with Ryan on that. It wouldn't matter. I wouldn't call it an invasion, because really all Kenny Omega showed up for was all like, I'm the AEW champion.
And Kenny Omega shows up for an Impact. They decide to take 3 fucking weeks of Impact or 3 episodes of Impact from the same day. Omega's at Impact in a fucking trailer watching Impact, then goes to Mexico right away to wrestle, and then comes back to Impact like within 3 days. Fuck off. No, that's not how that works. You're not Rick Rude.
Kayfabe,
You can't
bro.
be on Nitro and Raw at the same time. Just because
No,
you were on
kayfabe,
Impact
bro.
on a fucking pay-per-view and
That's- Okay.
Kayfabe, bruh. Kayfabe, bruh.
What I'm saying is, like, that first episode, you sat through a whole episode, which is brilliant, though. You sat through a whole episode of Impact. You sat through all their storylines to get to Kenny Omega, who pretty much goes on the show and says, I do what I want.
Yeah.
Kenny Omega goes, I do what I want, watch me tomorrow. And then you watch Dynamite to hear, watch me Tuesday. Then
Yeah.
you watch Tuesday.
That's all it is. That's all it is. And here's the
And
thing.
it's popping, though.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. It's popping, but is it that good?
Not right
The
now,
first
though.
week, yes. The
It's
first
just-
week, yes.
it's just
Everything else after
it's
that is
just-
not.
Right.
Which
It's
is why
just
I've only watched 2 of
interest.
them.
It's interest. It's interest to see where the storyline is going to go, but it's essentially going, watch Impact, watch Dynamite, watch Impact, watch Dynamite, watch Impact, watch Dynamite, pay-per-view, which you know,
I guarantee it's going to be a screwy finish.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's going to be a
yeah.
spree finish.
There's no way Jay Briscoe's winning the Ring of Honor World title, so don't ever tell me something's not fucking out of hand. 7 years ago, and I still fucking hate Jay Briscoe for it. Don't tell me no difference.
One of 2 things is going to happen, okay? Either
It's a tag team match. It's the Good Brothers and Kenny versus Rick Swan and
It's the Super Elite versus the guys we couldn't push in any other company.
no, who are the other? But seriously, who are the other 2 fucking wrestlers? It's
The Motor City Machine Guns.
Yeah.
that's right. I couldn't fucking remember their names.
So it's the Super Elite versus guys you couldn't
So-
push in another company.
And and an Impact pay-per-view.
Mhm.
Do you think that they're going to have, because obviously either Omega's pinning Schwann in a screwy finish,
or one of the Good Brothers
Schwann's
dying.
pinning like fucking Anderson or something.
Yeah.
Like, Omega ain't taking a fall. I don't think they're going to give Gallows a fall. If AEW loses, Anderson's
I don't-
taking a fall.
I don't think Swan's taking the fall either, because if anything I've known about wrestling resonates, and if I can make an educated guess,
protect your champion.
They are setting up champion versus champion.
No, and I agree. That's why I say Omega pin Swan.
No,
In a screwy fucking.
If Omega pin Swan, your champion versus champion match is out the window immediately.
Yeah, because you made him look.
Not they screw it.
I don't give a fuck if you do it screwy or you do it don't screwy. If you're gonna book champion versus champion and you do a screwy finish in the 6-man, and Rich Swann doesn't beat Kenny Omega, why the fuck are you doing all of that? Rich Swann don't get pinned.
Yeah,
Kenny Omega don't get pinned.
That's just like in UFC when Ronda Rousey finally got beat. There was no need to see Cyborg versus Ronda Rousey. So
No.
that's what we're going with that.
right.
When GSP fucking retired because he's a French fucking pussy, you didn't need to see Anderson Silva versus GSP anymore because he knew there was no difference.
Now, had Khabib decided to keep the title, GSP was coming back to fight Khabib.
Who gives a shit about UFC?
But no, in terms of not directly giving a shit about UFC,
I get your
in
point.
the general statement of
yeah.
when you're looking at two big names, or
I got your point.
Rich Swann is big name. You know what I mean? Like Swan's
Wife
not
beater.
taking the pinfall. Yeah. Fucking Cody Deaner. Like
I said wife beater. I don't know why I put
and
in
I said
quotation
Cody
marks.
Deaner because it rhymed with it and I wasn't trying to say fucking wife beater a second time.
Wife beater. I don't know why I'm using quotation marks because he really is a wife beater. But
I mean, he didn't get convicted, so he's not a wife beater.
I can't with you guys.
I mean,
but anyway, like
legally, he is not a wife beater.
Thank you.
in the
Legally,
legal
Michael
sense,
Jackson
In a
wasn't
legal
racist, but here we are. Like,
pedophile, different.
no,
I think they're both the same thing.
You're
in this
still
case.
being charged with
in
rape.
that situation it is. But we'll go back. We'll throw it back long enough to be like AEW Impact's relationship together is going to be really good. I'm really excited to see where this leads overall and to see who gets kind of really big pushes out of this partnership.
No, I'm just hoping AEW doesn't pull an AEW and fuck it up.
Oh, like WWE hasn't fucked up an invasion angle before.
I go back to my statement. I really hope this benefits for good people and good pushes for some guys who wouldn't
WWE
normally
fucked
get
it up.
pushes.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that let's have Kenny Omega be a heel on one show and a face on the other, and there's fucking
Now, hold on, no stop.
or
Where the fuck is Kenny Omega a face to?
that's what I'm saying. I hope they don't do that.
Yeah, where
Unlike MJF was a heel, a face, and heel, a face again on the same show. So that just
Sounds like a big show.
Kenny Omega or MJF might have walked to the ring with Cody Rhodes, and everything I've seen with MJF after, they always booed that motherfucker, regardless if they liked anybody else in the ring. MJF is the next evolution of a heel. We'll talk about that after in another show. I really hope this partnership really benefits the mid-card guys and somebody gets an actual main event push out of this in either company.
I agree, but I don't think it will happen. Like I honestly don't.
the end result of the AEW title is Adam Page winning. There's
I hate.
there's
I
no
fucking
other.
hate you so goddamn
It's
much.
the truth.
Adam Page is
It's-
an overrated piece of fucking shit.
Yeah, and yet that's
like
what they're
Kenny
booking.
Omega's not.
Wow, here it comes.
I'm taking the sleazy argument on this.
You're not wrong. What the fuck is Kenny Omega any good at? Realistically, why he can wrestle over in Tokyo and Dave Meltzer
Knees?
sucks his dick?
Knees and the One Ring Angel.
The
I
most
can start
protected
throwing knees to
finisher
people and make
in the
it look
world.
fucking devastating, and I can make somebody drop on their fucking neck from a move. Don't mean I'm gonna main event fucking AEW shows. Go to fuck. Fuck you.
This
And
is why.
you, but the generalization of it.
Oh, no, I understand. I'm just saying this is what Tony Khan's doing to Kenny's dick. Wait, hold on, tweezers.
I feel like an honest opinion.
That's why he's paying Dave Meltzer.
If they make Kenny Omega the champ right off the bat, the stigmata on Kenny Omega isn't there.
I disagree. I think it's
You had
more.
to make-
I think
No,
it's
you
more.
had- You had to make
Now
one
you're
of the
getting
other
this-
champ right away. Either you made Kenny Omega champ right away, or you made the Young Bucks champ right away. The fact that they held off on both and then did it so far in, to me, tainted both of their reigns, because now it's just like, Buzz, we know you did this right away to pretend like you didn't want to push yourselves, but you pushed it. You should have just pushed yourself right away and put over a young team or a young fella after the fact for the second title reign. But that's just my opinion.
No, and that makes sense. I'm just saying, if you would have had Omega win the title the first time, now it's like, oh, we have a guy who's super over in Japan who's a little overrated now becoming
They
the
built the
champion.
fucking fed around them. They built the fed around Cody, the Young Bucks, and Omega. Get their title reigns out of the way, because they're going to be like Jerry Lawler from fucking Continental Wrestling Association and have 72 fucking title reigns anyways. Why not give, honestly, why not put Private Party as your first tag champions if you're not going to put the Young Bucks? Because they beat the Young Bucks and should have won the whole fucking tournament.
I agree with that.
Actually, you should have had the Dark Order win the tournament because they want a match to get a. They want a match to get a match to get a bye.
Yeah,
that's-
They won
So-
a first round bye, but it was a first round match. And I love Dark Order.
No. They won a match to get into a match to have a first round bye.
Well, they wrestled more matches than they did.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. That was the point.
That was the point.
Listen, even before Brody Lee, I've loved the Dark Order gimmick anyways, but it goes, if you didn't put the Young Bucks as the tag champs, you should have put Omega as your world champ. If you didn't put Omega as your world champ, you should have put the Young Bucks as the tag champ.
I agree
and
with
got
that. I
that
agree.
out of the way.
But at the same, okay, yeah, no, and I absolutely agree with you. But like I said, there has to be an end game to this impact. You can have Impact go over to AEW and AEW go over to Impact, but you need to have an end game. You had to say, okay, this is where we have to end to make. So we got your guys in eyes on the product. It has to end somewhere.
Well, let me point this out. We have been talking now about TNA for the past probably about half hour, and the funny thing is, I don't think we've ever talked about TNA the whole time we've been together for more than half hour of the show.
A couple of shows ago, we did a good long talk about Impact. It was me, Fat Man, and Sleazy, because Travis didn't watch the show either. But I feel like every show I'm on, we actually talk about Impact because I'm the only one that religiously watches Impact.
I think part of the fact that we're talking about it tonight is the fact that they've got more eyes on the product, which means that their partnership with AEW absolutely has helped.
No, it
course,
does,
yeah.
and I'm not debating that 1 second at all.
Yeah.
I'm just saying is, I hope they don't fuck it up. Like
I don't think they will, though.
like I said, like and what Ryan said, it's like Kenny Omega first appearance goes, see what I'm gonna do. I do what I want. Watch Dynamite tomorrow, and then you watch Dynamite tomorrow. And goes, I'm gonna be on Impact Tuesday. Watch what I'm gonna do, and then he goes on. It's like, watch Dynamite tomorrow. That's all it's been essentially. It's like
And when Kenny did go to Impact, Tony Khan even had a commercial on Impact.
which, by the way, sucked fucking ass. I
It
don't
did,
care.
But it,
I don't
it stated what he was trying to do, basically.
It was terrible. It was terrible. It was just terrible. And let's keep. And I know Tony Khan runs the company. He needs to be part of this angle somehow, but he hasn't. And here's the thing: I hate to say this, he hasn't been there enough.
Hasn't been established as a authority figure.
That too, but also as I don't think they're using Tony Khan enough. Is what I'm trying to say. As like the owner of Impact, shouldn't he be a little bit more pissed off about this? Instead of buying airtime on Access TV to tell him to go watch Dynamite when you have your world champion on the show going, watch Dynamite. What was the point?
Okay, I came in really at the last second of this, so I'll just give my opinion and see if it changed on how you said it. The paid advertisement with Tony Schiavone shitting all over Impact and Tony Khan being like, I can buy you guys, I don't really care. I've given Omega permission to do this, I could do this, I could do that, I could slap an injunction out of that, actually makes everything a lot better, because Tony Khan, as much as every single fucking person in the wrestling business know, is just a rich mark. He
He's a money
understands what
mark.
it is. And that's what it is. So, like, If Tony Khan was to come out and say, I don't like this, blah, 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 it wouldn't make sense. For him to come out and be happy and giddy going, my show's better, I'm helping out the... Okay, I'm really a piece of shit for saying this. I'm Michael Phelps, and I'm helping the Special Olympics guys learn how to run a fucking marathon. Is exactly what this is. And it just benefits everybody going
Wow.
As terrible of a person I am.
Why would Michael Phelps help Special Olympic guys run a marathon when he's a swimmer?
Because he's slow.
Michael Phelps is slow. So he's making my point for me. Michael Phelps is slow also.
But it was that
Very slow.
Somebody that's really good at something goes into another avenue of something.
No, I get your analogy. I understand what you're saying. Like, but what I'm saying is, like, yeah, he goes on airtime and he's like, oh, you know, we'll tie this up in course, blah, blah, blah. We have a better product. I think you're misusing Tony, it's his idea, but I think you're misusing him in that thing. I think he should be on TV going, this is my world champion, going to another company. I don't like it. Instead of going, well,
if you're not doing a big full out gang war shit, that's not going to work.
Here's the other reason why that doesn't
work.
work.
Should be doing instead of having one or two guys from essentially one guy, because the Good Brothers are in Impact. Essentially, one guy going over to Impact and going Invasion.
Well, here's my problem with that is you have to sit there and remember that that's how the entire Austin McMahon dynamic happened. You know, except it's on two shows versus one. But I need you because you're the champion and you're making me money. So I can't punish you too much, but I can punish you enough.
What about when Razor Ramon and Diesel, only two people, invaded WCW from WWE?
WWE was smart enough in that instance to be like, they still use the Razor Diesel names because they knew they had the names, and as shitty as it was after for fake Razor and fake Diesel,
and then they weren't working together. That's the other other point too.
That's true.
There was a shoe
I just
problem
have this
there.
feeling that I want to see where it's going, and I like that they're working together. I just don't think that they're utilizing. Remember, I know more than Brody Lee, but I just don't think they're utilizing this. And maybe it's the long game. Maybe at Hard to Kill, you have like John Moxley come down to cost Omega the match, or Adam Page, or something. Like maybe it's just
Adam Page
or Jay Briscoe. But it's just you.
I'm going to leave this fucking podcast right now.
But you just have them come down and cost them the match, or maybe they play the long game with it, and that's fine. I'm probably going to be wrong, which I never am.
Oh no,
no, I'm talking about that. No. I'm saying like, I think I'm going to be wrong to where wrong is in like I don't like where they're going with it so far. I'm hoping it gets better, is what I'm saying, because I'm not seeing it to where it's a full on invasion. It's just one guy going to Impact and Tony Khan going, our product's better.
I can hope a hand job is going to turn into a blow job, but you can't fucking predict the future.
I mean,
holy fuck!
That's true.
That's not what Chip said. But anyway,
wow.
I can use any analogy as I can.
Hey, the hand job always turns into a blow job. Get it right, bitch.
I can use any analogy, but
so you have been to Lyle Ave,
right there.
Like
that comment, officer.
Fiend thing. I bring it up solely as you can't really predict how the future goes. Initially, the future was Goldberg was going to lose the reins and blah blah blah, whatever. But it's hard, especially in anything with wrestling, it's hard to predict any kind of future.
And stuff can get
where
hurt.
AEW and Impact is going to end up.
Right. And I'm hoping it gets better because, like I said, it's only really Omega going to Impact, and it's just all like, I'm going to Impact because I can. And then Tony Khan's like, our show's better anyway. But then it's like, you're still allowing this guy to go on your show because he's a world champ. Like, why doesn't he just strip him of the title? He just won it. So, I don't know. It's wrestling. But
it's all the work.
besides the fact it's a work, it's real early to tell where this relationship
That's
is
what I'm
going to
saying.
end up.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah. So it just, we'll see. Okay, let's talk about a little bit of TLC.
A little bit of that TLC.
Because we're talking about
TLC, not THC. Get it right, Ryan.
we're talking about hand jobs and blow
Same
jobs.
thing. I'm getting high whether I climb steps or smokes a joint.
Good night, baby. I love you. I was talking to my fiance. Fuck
Are
y'all.
you sure?
Yes. I
Are
was.
you sure? He was talking about the
give you a fucking
blunt.
rose.
He was either talking about Ryan or the blunt. I'm sure.
Continue, fucker.
We're talking about hand jobs, blow jobs, and Chip loving us. So let's talk about a little tender love and care. TLC, tables, ladders, and chairs. Everyone watched the pre-show?
No.
No.
I watched it. I just can't remember it.
Note to self: marijuana affects the. I forgot. Anyway, tables, ladders, and chairs match for the WWE Championship. Drew McIntyre.
Because fuck you.
Oh, I'm sorry, Susie.
That's our
Because
fucking gimmick. God damn it.
Because fuck you.
WWE title match.
Okay, Drew McIntyre versus AJ Styles. Match with 27 minutes and 5 seconds. Fuck Dave Meltzer, giving 4 stars.
Fuck that piece of shit.
Hold on now. That seems like a really high rating for that match.
Because it is a really high. He smoked more than you did, Ryan, for this match. Why would Miz cash in the Money in the Bank during the match and not after the match? When
I don't give
Oh,
a
no,
fuck,
no, no.
motherfucker.
I have the
Miz
perfect-
didn't cash in shit.
Oh, no. I have the perfect answer to that. Okay,
hold on. Let me finish my notes.
Okay.
'Cause
Finish
I
your
did
notes,
these
sir, and
notes.
then
I
we'll
did
all
these
go.
notes the day I watched TLC the day after. So Raw was last week or yesterday. So obviously, it makes them look really fucking stupid to book the mat to cash in during the match, not after when his opponents were incapacitated. And the Money in the Bank has been fucking booked horrendous this year.
Ooh, me first.
2020.
Hold on.
2020. That's all I gotta say.
I thought the match was good, but there was really nothing special about it. And I think the Money in the Bank hurt the match. 3 stars.
Okay, so first off, brilliant that he cashed in during the match when both guys were down because of them attacking the other guy. Realistically, logically, he should have been able to climb that ladder like he wasn't in the match instead of climbing the ladder like he was in a 20-minute ladder match. Second, when we were watching the pay-per-view, me and my buddy, the first words that came out of my buddy Warren's mouth was, "That's strange. Morrison decided he was going to cash in for him and not Miz. I wonder if they're going to do anything from it." Spoilers, 2 weeks later, they give Miz the contract back, which, again, that made the storyline even better to me.
It's different. They haven't done it before.
Miz
It
gets to be
still
the first
does-
guy. Miz gets to be the first guy to either cash in twice and lose once or cash in once and lose twice.
I still think it's stupid for him to cash in during the match.
No, this
Why would he
is
cash in after the match.
Wait a second. Here's the reason why he should have cashed in. It wasn't after the match. Absolutely not. It should have happened after Miz went up, grabbed the title, came back down, and then cashed it in.
Oh, damn.
Because
I didn't think about that.
here's the reason why. It's been canon that if you bring down the title, the first person that has the title that's in the match wins the match. He's not in the match yet. So, in theory, if he got knocked off the ladder and didn't grab the title, he's still got the Money in the Bank contract. He didn't have to cash it in until after he was guaranteed to have the title in his hand.
So we're making the same point except different scenarios.
Well, the thing is that there's no way that he should
Dave
have
Briscoe's winning the ROH World Title. We know this.
There's no reason why he should have cashed in until he literally had the title in his hands. And that should have been the smart play. That would have made sense.
You said smart and WWE in the same sentence. Are you high?
Hey,
Yes.
Matt, Chip, shut up. Because I feel like the only guy that watches Impact on this podcast is the only guy that actually defends most of WWE's decisions. I just like wrestling and I can justify most things. If you were putting the belt on Miz that night, how they booked it and the preceding weeks after was absolutely fucking perfect.
I disagree with the Morrison thing. I do. Because
It's a loophole. I mean,
it's
I'll
not a
take it.
loophole because it's also been canon that if Paul Heyman cashes in the Money in the Bank contract
I was
for
thinking
Brock
about that.
Lesnar, it counted. So
Yeah.
that kind of blows that theory out of the water. So there's a canonical reason for somebody else cashing in on behalf of that wrestler. So it's happened before. What hasn't happened before is somebody getting the contract back because he's a whiny piece of shit. That doesn't make any sense.
Hold on now, because I have this problem, and if Travis listens to this show, it's going to be really funny that I say this. I
doesn't.
have this problem with seeing promoters being fucking afraid of heat. To do it that way gives you so much heel heat on The Miz, it's almost better that he didn't cash in and win.
I would say possibly if it wasn't for the fact that those shows don't get a shit ton of heat. They're still not getting the heat as if they were a live crowd.
I was gonna say there's no fans. Like you have the fucking digital fans, but then you have which aren't making noise. It's all piped in noise
Yeah,
anyway.
it's all piped.
It's like us sitting here watching the pay-per-view with our webcams on. We're not making the noise. They're piping in the noise.
That's fine, but I find if you're piping in the noise, it's a lot better than how Impact the Ring of Honor been doing shows.
No, I agree.
Yeah, there's
But
nothing.
but your point is saying it's getting heat. Well, what's heat in COVID? We don't.
There is no heat. We can make
There's
as
two
much.
fucking feds in wrestling that at least giving you crowd sound for heat. So
Right.
like,
What's
Yeah, my
WWE
button says-
piping in. So
I
the
can make
Miz-
the biggest. I can make the 10-minute boo session from Roman Reigns after he beat the Undertaker by pressing a button. You know, that's the problem. Canned heat.
So I understand what you're saying. If there was a live crowd, I get it, but there's no live crowd sound. So it's 6 to 1, half dozen to the other. Like it doesn't matter. And I still think Miz cashing in during the match was the worst thing that could.
no, logically it wasn't because the two of the guys should have been down. But again,
You have a 7-foot tall asshole right there.
That's also
let me
true.
finish. First off, Miz didn't cash in. Second off, when
Watching that
actually-
pay-per-view live, you thought he cashed in. So let's talk about that. Yes.
Yeah,
So you thought he did. So why would he? Both guys were down.
How my buddy, the first
Yeah,
words
no,
out of his
I know.
mouth were
I got you. I
Morrison
got you.
cashed in.
I got you. But that's your buddy. The casual fan is thinking Miz is cashing in. So
I did.
Miz cashes in. Both guys are down. He's really looking at a 7-foot tall black guy. That's for the other person.
Wait a
What
second.
makes him think that he's not gonna stop him?
There's two problems with that. Number one, if Miz didn't, it's like saying that I am committing fraud, okay, by passing a $20 bill. And I passed it to Fat Man, who paid for something and then gave me the item he purchased. Legally, I've passed that bill because I've traded it in. Additionally, if you look at it from the perspective of The Miz, if The Miz wasn't cashing in, why did he allow the announcer to say, Miz is cashing in the Money in the Bank ladder match, and then he runs up the ladder?
Yeah.
That makes no sense. And
If I give you a counterfeit $20 bill and you pay Fat Man for weed, that's on you, not on me. I can be like, I didn't hand you the money. What are you talking about?
that's not true. You'd be convicted for conspiracy.
No, I guess it's weird in the States when you're all
In America.
fucked up.
Welcome,
Well, I mean,
welcome to the U.S.
I can hand you a $20 bill, and whatever you decide to do with that $20 bill is your decision. If you buy $20 worth of drugs, and me and you do the drugs together, it's fine. If you buy $20 drugs and get busted, they're not busting me because I gave you $20.
That's not true. If they can prove that you were a part of the sale, even through a third party, you'd be convicted in
But you're
the
not part of the
States.
sale. If you ask me for a loan of $20, that's not you being a part of a sale, or that's not me being a part of a sale. If you ask for a loan of $20, whatever you're spending that money on.
It's the same as if you were Fat Man would know this more than even me. It's the same issue with alcohol in the States. Third party sales. So the other problem with all of this is that
It's just got a problem too.
the other problem, it completely ignores Miz and the Morrison. Or Miz and the Morrison. What the fuck is
And
wrong?
Morrison.
Miz and Morrison. It's 9:10 already. We've been on this for over 2 hours now.
Shock.
If Miz and Morrison doesn't come down and they're both out, why isn't the big 7-foot black man going up, grabbing the title, and putting it on AJ?
I don't think you can climb up that ladder. Too uncoordinated.
I don't
Two
think he needs-
steps.
I was just gonna say he needs to make 2 steps. That's it. Like,
I could do 2 steps.
He'll be freaking out because he's afraid of heights. But
I've got yes. No,
it's not. Yeah, there's so many flaws in it.
That's
I get where Ryan's coming from, and that's what Chip would be saying, not Ryan, but because Chip's fucking Mark. But
Touche.
there's so much wrong with him cashing in that it just fucking ruined the flow. If there was a flow.
there wasn't a flow in the match. That's the other problem with.
Okay, look, besides Miz cashing in, Sleazy, what do you think of the match?
I still don't like the match. I thought it was a great example of why TLC doesn't work in a non-heated match. They did the TLC match to do the TLC match and nothing more. This was not based upon some blood feud. This was not based upon some reason why they needed to do it. There was not interference. In fact, just the opposite happened. And the worst part is that the person that should have interfered didn't. The only thing he did was run off Miz and Morrison. Or not even Miz and Morrison, just Morrison. So
I'll get back to your point when we talk about the other TLC match.
Okay.
You fucking
fine.
Kevin
We're a
Steen.
couple hours in, so like general consensus. I think that the Miz thing and how they booked it was brilliant. When you look at the future stuff, if we're just looking at it as a pay-per-view, I understand where you guys are coming from in terms of short-term selling term for a show. I just think in a longer scale of things, everything how it worked was great. But I totally 100% agree in short-term booking on just that show. You guys are right. That was stupid on how they did it.
Okay. All right. What do you think of the match?
I
Besides,
like the match.
all right, Chip,
I would give it 3.5 stars. There was not
Mark.
there was no
Sean,
flow.
leave him alone.
There was no flow to it. The interruption by Miz, I understand how Ryan is seeing it and all that, but I just don't feel that it was needed.
You say it was a shitty match, but it's 3.5 stars.
I'm laughing too.
That's my fucking gimmick, you fuck.
I bit my tongue off then. Like, what the fuck, man? But this goes back to
I mean,
why
it wasn't a
Sarah
brilliant match. It wasn't a brilliant match, but
it was a really good match.
But my-
100%.
my views on what a 3.5 star match and what your all views on a 3.5 star match, being part of the industry and being a true mark and never been part of the industry, are two different versions.
Yeah, you're Mark.
No. So for me, like I've said from when I started doing the podcast with you guys from the beginning, when you look at a 5-star match, each star should be something that resonates in it.
It
So,
needs
like,
to have this, and Ryan thinks every match has it, so it's a 5-star match.
No.
SmackDown Women's Championship.
No, hey, stop. All I'm saying is you could have, I think in the COVID era, it's hard to have a 5-star match because one of the main stars is a crowd reaction. As much as you're piping it in or not, it's hard to be like, that was a 5-star match because one of
Right.
the stars should be how the crowd reacts.
I when people talk about crowd reaction, I go look at Hogan Rock from 18.
Yeah.
Absolute shitty physical wrestling.
That match was probably a 2-star match at best, but that fucking crowd made that match.
Yeah. Which I get, but that's why I don't like star ratings as much, because it just seems to be foolish on how you look at, this is this, but it's this.
It's just because you're Canadian, you don't know how to do American math.
It's that
Anyway,
inflation.
I think
It's
we've
inflation.
I think we've talked about this before a few years ago, but we have to find some metric on rating it against other matches. And just by default, because Dave Meltzer, fuck him, started all that. So, I mean, we could score it on 1 to 10. We could score it on, how many dumps that we have. We could 2 comes in the air. Oh, this one's only 6 comes in the air. We needed some sort of scale. We just defaulted to the star rating.
Yeah.
That's
SmackDown
all.
Women's Championship. Sasha.
Don't worry.
Sasha.
We were talking about jacking off.
Sasha. Versus
That was way too close.
Carmella. Match with 12 minutes and 10 seconds. Fuck, Dave Meltzer gave it 3 3/4.
I don't like star ratings as much, but that sounds like a standard star rating for this match.
I'm wrong.
It wasn't a full-blown on 4-star match. It wasn't good for a house show 3-star match. They did really good. Carmella wrestled really well, and Sasha Banks got the win, who should have got the win in that match.
I thought the match was great. Like I said, I gave it 3 3/4 stars also.
Great match.
I thought
under 4 stars.
a great match is a really good match is 3.5 stars. A great match is 3 3/4 between and 4.5, and fantastic is over. Learn how to fucking rate shit. Great match. Carmella's best fucking one-on-one match, I think.
Oh, by far.
And I think that's all with Sasha, because I'm the mark. But I thought there was great near falls at the end, and the right person did win.
And confirm.
Lacey, you're the women's wrestling enthusiast.
I mean, I agree. I mean, this was far and away Carmella's best match, by far. Sasha did a lot of the work, but yeah. Here's the reality. It still takes 2 to tango. Even if you have a shitty fucking guy in the ring, or shitty fucking girl in this case, they gotta have some sort of basics involved. Otherwise, they're going to be out of position, even when you're calling spots. So you gotta give Carmella some credit for working better than she has been before. But to get her up to that level, yeah, it requires the skill of Sasha to bring her up to there. And I appreciate it.
Yep.
And the ratings the same too.
I agree. 3 3/4. Definitely one of Carmella's best matches I've ever seen. She's come back strong since I last saw her wrestle, at least. Good to see it. Takes 2 to tango, like you all said. Sasha did a good job of helping her progress to that match.
Did we just find a match we all agree on?
Yes.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
That was a women's match at that. Go 2020.
Who saw that one on their 2020 bingo?
Here, let me go into work and see if it froze over.
All the jaded fucks agreed to one women's match is the same thing.
Wow.
Tag team championship.
Including Meltzer.
Yeah, Meltzer
Yeah,
gave it
what the fuck Dave Meltzer give it?
Same as
3
us.
3 3/4. Raw tag
We're
team
going to
championship.
hell.
Yep. Well, we knew that. Raw Tag Team Championship, New Day defense against Hurt Business, match with 10 minutes even. Meltzer gave it 3 1/4. He's a fucking underrated piece of shit. Another great match, full of action. They did as much as they could with the time given, and I thought the right team won. 3 3/4 stars.
Same. And for the same reasoning as well. I thought it was a great match, and I thought the Hurt business, it was about time to put the straps on them. That way they have the power with Lashley as the United States champion. Plus, it also strips the New Day of the titles and lets them get back to just tag team wrestling and not in the spotlight as a champion.
As the tag team champions?
Yeah.
This should have happened 2 weeks after they traded tag belts. That's my only issue with it. They should have given the Hurt Business the tag belts right away and gave them a decent, lengthy run for New Day to win them back.
They'll probably win it back at the Royal Rumble.
But like to win them back in the Royal Rumble's a month's reign. They traded those belts 2 months ago. You give New Day a week and a half as a title reign, and then Hurt Business takes them from them instead of doing all the fucking stupid shit that they did booking wise, like to get to this point. I think the Hurt Business would have did better with a long title reign. The New Day could win it back, and everything would be fine. I just think that they should have did this title change months ago. Personally.
Hey, look, the black people are fighting over the silver belts.
Nickel.
Yeah. And they're dime belts if they're silver, not nickel.
My head hurts.
Okay, go back to the yay or nay on me saying the Hurt Business should have won these belts long ago instead of pushing it the way they did.
100%,
I agree.
100% agree.
Agree.
Mm-hmm. Having this title switch was kind of strange. I think the only reason why they did it was because they wanted the New Day to put over Street Profits at Survivor Series. I think that's the only reason why they held them as long as they did. That's the only reason. And I think they see the long-term future with the Street Profits. And I think, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if Kofi and Xavier requested to put them over
I can see that.
as the champions.
Mm-hmm.
I feel within a year, both of them are back on SmackDown with Big E. As much as Big E is going to have a good singles run, Kofi had a great singles run with the New Day. I feel like Woods and Kofi are going back to SmackDown within a year.
I would agree with that.
I don't want to start an argument about Kofi's title reign, so I'm not going to start.
Whether you liked it or didn't like it, it's still the generic answer of I think Kofi and Woods will be back on SmackDown with Big E within a year.
Yeah,
It really would all depend on Big E's singles run. If he flops, he's back with the New Day. If not, he's.
I don't think if he flops, well, obviously he's IC champ now again. But
that don't mean they're not going to flop. Let's be that clear.
That's also true. But I can also see the problem I have with him being the IC champ was that he's kind of already above that. If they were going to push him as a monster singles guy, why is he, I hate to say this, but slumming around in the IC title belt?
Because Roman Reigns is the Universal Champion and you don't want to feed him the reign yet.
Ding, ding, ding.
I think, honestly, I disagree with that. The reason why I disagree with that is that you can tell a better story of him trying him out in the very first part of Reigns' run and then tell a good redemption story.
No. You can think that, but you'd be wrong.
No, but to... Just go fuck yourself.
No, you had to give him the IC title again because you feed him the reins right away and did that super redemption story. Doesn't have the same effect as him giving the IC title reign, getting a decent run out of it, and everybody's been beaten to their head. Whether you're a casual fan who's been watching it for so long or an old school fan, that IC title leads to the main belt on that show. So
ask Sami Zayn that.
Yeah, or
ask Nakamura that.
Any IC belt holder in the last.
They went opposite with Nakamura. They went world title picture and then IC title. Hard to defend that one. Sami fucking Zayn you can't do anything with because Sami Zayn's going to get scared of COVID and go to fuck away again. So you can't do anything else with Sami Zayn.
So here's my problem though, is that I see if I were booking it, I would feed him the reins first, okay? Immediately. I mean, like, before even the Jey Uso thing, okay?
Super Showdown style.
Yeah. On a SmackDown even. You don't even have to do it at a pay-per-view. But you have to give him a loss there to show him the weakness. And he's continuously bringing himself back up, and that's how you reintroduce the New Day, is that they were stronger together.
I'll give you that.
But then you got to turn the New Day heels.
No, you don't got to turn the New Day. I'll give you that instance.
Because now you're making Big E look like a goober.
No,
you're not. I can't do it by myself. I need the New Day.
No. If you do what I say,
are you saying that's how you get the New Day back together?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, you
now
don't
you're
even
just.
get to,
But then I agree with Ryan. Now you're just wasting Big E.
you don't even have to get the New Day together on that point. Legitimately, if you do the draft, and then whenever Reigns comes back, because I don't think it was too long between the draft and when Reigns actually came back, but Reigns wins the belt. That fucking SmackDown, Big E's this single star on a push in the week before he wins a number one contenders match. Fine, and you feed him the reins on the first fucking title defense he got. Fine. If it's not the first title defense, do not feed Big E the reins.
No,
I push him as a star.
I agree with that. You have to do it the very first time because you still have Roman being kind of a tweener, even though
Chip, what are you doing? Are you jerking off over there?
I think he is.
Nope, I'm just sitting there.
He's
listening.
like, oh, Jey Uso. God damn it.
Chip, Big E, yay or nay?
To what scenario?
As
Any.
a world champion.
Oh,
I give
I don't think he's strong enough to take it. No,
So he's just
I mean,
never going to be.
right-
He's
right-
never going to break that glass ceiling.
there's a lot of people that never break that glass ceiling.
He's
And
not
he is going to
wrong.
be one of them. And he is going to become one of them. He came in as a big powerhouse as Big E Langston, and then they put him with the New Day, and then they got him over and got him babyface for how many years? But then I'm not going to say he lost his intensity, but
Oh, he lost his intensity. You're 100% correct in saying that.
and
As much as I love the New Day sucked a lot of big guy stuff out of Big E, regardless of.
And now you're going to have him go right back to the way he was before the New Day. It's impossible. I just don't see him getting back to that level. I'm not even going to say he was even a main event WWE champion from the beginning. He was a lot more intense back then and a lot more feared of a competitor when he was with Dolph Ziggler as his manager and all that. But for the most part, I just don't see him being able to. Right now, definitely no way he can eclipse Roman Reigns. No way.
They don't need him to.
They don't need him to be Reigns right now. This goes on a debate of whether they should have did what they did with Big E earlier or not. You give him 6 months with the IC title reign, next WrestleMania, Big E and Roman Reigns is the main event. If you don't feed Big E the Reigns right away, if you feed Big E the Reigns right away, he don't need the IC title reign. If you don't feed Big E the Reigns right away, he needs the IC title reign to level him up. Because he loses that belt, I don't see it being by pinfall. I see it a multi-man match or a situation where he doesn't need to be pinned to lose the belt.
So does
Ladder
Big E
match.
win the Royal Rumble?
No, not as IC champion.
All right.
You know who's going to win the Royal Rumble and who's going to beat
Goldberg.
Roman Reigns? Yeah, God damn it! You fucking stole my thunder.
Who?
Because Goldberg.
I don't know. I'm gonna be the mark that I always am and do the off the wall prediction. The Rock comes back and puts him in his place.
This
Oh,
is. Do you want something else to throw? Here, I'll throw this.
Listen, it's not that it's an off the wall prediction. Whoever wins the Royal Rumble this year will be Roman Reigns' opponent. The two rumored guys are The Rock and Goldberg. Whoever wins the Rumble is going to be Reigns' opponent because it's already set to build that storyline. You can take the WWE champion and build him on TV because you're going to have everybody else that's going to fight him on TV able to build that storyline. You're not going to have The Rock to build the storyline. You're not going to have Goldberg to build the storyline. Give them a win that automatically puts them in that WrestleMania main event. The storyline's already built for them.
And plus, the WrestleMania is in Los Angeles this year. Where's
It's definitely going to
the
be
Rock? And where's
It's not in LA this year.
Where's it do?
They moved it to Tampa.
no? That's next year. LA is this year. Tampa's next year.
No, they moved it
Yes.
to Tampa this year. You can't have.
Check it out. I believe I'm right. You're wrong.
I'm going
We
to
talked
look
about
right now.
this. We actually
I'm
talked about this
I'm right.
a few shows back. Is that originally?
It was supposed to be LA.
Yeah,
WrestleMania 37 is the upcoming 37th annual WrestleMania professional wrestling pay-per-view and WWE Network event produced by WWE. It is scheduled to take place on March 28, 2021 at Raymond
James Stadium in Tampa,
Oh, wow.
Florida.
Tampa,
You
Florida.
dumb fucking bitch.
Somebody's bitter.
I'm not bitter, I
especially.
was right.
Well, here's the thing: is that
I was right. How am I bitter?
no,
You're
whoa,
always
whoa,
there.
whoa, 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 time out. I was right fuck all of you, because I said it before they actually released that they were going to go back to Tampa first. Because Tampa got
I want to
fucked out
say
of the
he's
WrestleMania.
wrong, but I can't, boys.
No, Sleazy. Sleazy did say it first.
And
Women's
that
tag team-
silence is the arrogance of me being right for once on this
Women's
show.
Tag Team Championship.
And that's why we're glossing over this.
Shayna Baszler and a person who injures everyone versus some Asian and a mystery partner.
Fuck you. Fuck you. 14 times. Number one, fuck you. God damn it. How can you hurt Kairi Sane twice in 2 matches? Fuck them off to back to Japan, where she's got to be a fucking stand for Kenta Kobashi.
Okay, so like outside of Sleazy's fucking absolute weird fixation with Japanese women,
He married an Asian.
I understand, but Mrs. Sleazy doesn't need to get digs at her compared to Kairi Sane. My point is, why the fuck did this match happen? Why the fuck was Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax champions for so long? And why the fuck are the Iconics not 2-time champions at this point? Why did they split them up?
Oh, I've got more questions than that, boy. Question number 3. Why wasn't Lana in this?
Because Rusev went to AEW. There's your answer. Next.
And why did this have to be Charlotte in this spot?
Because anybody else you had to bring back as a return wouldn't have had the same impact.
Bingo.
What impact? Who gives a fuck?
The impact of a big name that is a prize to return, fans or not, people are going to see and go, oh shit, Charlotte Flair. I'm one of the biggest marks around, and I went, oh shit, Charlotte Flair, cool, she's back. But it's still, anybody else that's out isn't going to have the same effect. Anybody currently on the roster isn't going to have the same oh shit factor.
Nope.
Charlotte was the one to go, and Becky couldn't come back quick enough to win the tag belts.
It should have been Io Shirai.
Why?
Because she's Asian and Sleazy has an Asian fetish.
Outside of your fetish for Asians, if Io
He's
Shirai
been saying
wasn't-
Io Shirai for the past fucking 7.5 years, plus Texas
I understand. If Io Shirai wasn't NXT Women's Champion, I would probably agree with you that she could have been the cool debut on the roster. Let's replace one Jap with another Jap.
Well,
But
Jesus Christ.
First of all, wait a second here. First of all, it hasn't been the first time that the NXT Women's Championship or champion has debuted on the main roster while still only the champion.
I was about to point that out, but
Yeah.
you didn't do it.
And it would have been
and they stripped
perfect.
her immediately.
And it would have been perfect because they would have been considered both double champions. Third of all, they were a tag team back in Japan anyway as part of Triple Tails.
Which only Sleazy would know. And fourth of all, she's Asian, and that's the only fucking reason why.
I was getting to number 4.
Here's the
See, I
real.
tried to give you the benefit of the doubt here, but you just went to your Asian bias.
Here
Io
is the.
Shirai should not have been the partner because she was currently the NXT Women's Champion. When any other woman that has come up as the current NXT Women's Champion had some purpose or storyline, Io Shirai just would have been not as effective as Charlotte Flair as a mystery partner.
Because Charlotte
Here's the-
Flair draws, right?
Here is the fucking real reason why it was Charlotte Flair.
Charlotte Flair wanted to
Jeez.
come back as a champion.
I mean,
I'm the
maybe.
only one that sees this scenario, and it makes perfect sense.
And stop
They're gonna
Charlotte
fight-
Flair dragging around and just say the goddamn
Charlotte's-
scenario.
Charlotte Flair comes back, teams with Asuka, turns on her, and challenges her for the women's title at WrestleMania.
Oh, that sucks to be wrong.
Charlotte
other
Flair's winning
endgame
the-
is there?
Yeah, Charlotte Flair's winning the fucking Rumble this year.
Again, back to back, negative.
No, she's not winning the Rumble. She's going to turn
Absolutely.
on Asuka, and they're going to feud, and they're going to lead a WrestleMania match.
No, that it works perfectly because you don't have to turn them until they start fighting.
But why would you? Charlotte's a fucking heel. She should not be a face.
Of course
At
she's.
all.
Why is Asuka, of all people, teaming with Charlotte Flair, the woman who ended her 914-day undefeated streak in front of my fucking eyes? Oh my God.
Okay, stop. They actually answered that in an interview because Charlotte said how much she respected Asuka, and Asuka said how much she respected Charlotte because of that match at WrestleMania, because of the streak ending. I don't understand you're still fucking 3/4 mass here and Kane twice because we're talking about an Asian. They've made the attempt to explain why this tag team works, regardless on if we agree with it or not.
No, and I get that, but
And it's absolutely bullshit.
heels lie. So
Heels lie.
heels lie. That's why it's Charlotte. They're building for a feud between the two at WrestleMania.
I agree, actually.
Guarantee it. And
I
Charlotte
don't
ain't
see
winning the Rumble.
Charlotte or
And
Asuka.
Charlotte ain't winning the Rumble. Asuka's
Charlotte
holding
or
that title till
Asuka will
WrestleMania.
not be in the Raw Women's Championship
Yes,
match at
Asuka will
WrestleMania.
100% be champion until WrestleMania.
Negative.
Actually, I see
It's going
Asuka
to be-
winning at WrestleMania.
It's
She
going
needs
to be Becky Lynch and Ronda Rousey for some combination of that Raw Women's title. No Charlotte, no Asuka.
They don't need the title.
I'm with Ryan on that.
They don't need the title.
There's only two
Hey, look,
scenarios.
Chris Jericho and Shawn Michaels didn't need the title in 2008. They fucking
No,
put it
they
on them
didn't.
anyways.
Because fucking WWE creative, but they don't need WWE creative, but they don't
Thank
need
you.
the title. They don't need it.
They don't
here's
need it, but it's still going to be creative.
There's really only two scenarios for the Women's Royal Rumble here. Charlotte's winning and challenging Asuka.
Nope.
Or
Or
Bailey's winning.
Nope.
Becky Lynch is winning
Becky
and
Lynch winning.
challenging Asuka.
Nope.
That's the only two
Asuka's
scenarios.
not in a women's title match at WrestleMania. It's
Asuka
not gonna happen.
will lose the title to Ronda Rousey at the February pay-per-view.
Because they love doing the title change at the February pay-per-view to fuck shit up.
Sleazy's makes sense because obviously Becky gave the title to Asuka,
Yeah.
so Becky coming back. But I don't think that's happening.
Becky, me and Chip versus the 2E at this point, and it's going to be funny in a couple of months to see if which one switched on is right. Becky and Ronda Rousey for the Raw Women's Championship. It's not going to be Asuka. It's not going to be Charlotte Flair. They might still be tag champions. They're not going to be part of the
Okay.
Raw Women's title
Okay,
match,
so-
the singles.
So let's make this a little more concise.
To be
Who do you
actually,
think
Ryan
that-
may be right because they're not going to have two breakup angles within a 6-month period
They're not.
with tag team title with the women's tag team champions.
Charlotte
But it
and
is
Asuka-
WWE to do that.
Yeah.
But
Well, here's the problem. What do you see as the two main women's title matches?
Sasha Bailey 2, or whatever they want to call it. Sasha Bailey 3 for main
947.
roster.
no,
1.5.
I don't think this could be Sasha Bailey again.
No, you just fucking asked for my opinion, and halfway through you told me to shut up.
I didn't tell you to shut up. I just don't think it's going to happen again.
I think it's going to be Sasha Bailey, and I think it's going to be Becky and Ronda as the two main singles.
And
women's
Asuka
title
and
feuds.
Charlotte are going to be tag team champions.
defending the tag belts against whoever.
What about Charlotte versus Bailey for the SmackDown title, and then Ronda versus?
Because Charlotte's
I
on
don't.
Raw.
I don't see him hot shotting the tag
Unless
belts
Charlotte
again.
wins the women's title.
Or Charlotte wins the Rumble.
But if she wins,
I
the
don't think
Rumble, she
Charlotte's
has
winning
a
the Rumble
choice.
back-to-back years.
But if she does, she has the option to choose which title
Yeah.
competitor she.
But-
I don't think Charlotte's winning the Rumble back-to-back years.
The only reason I'm not saying Sasha's winning the Rumble because she's currently the champion. It's Sasha or Bailey winning the Rumble because they are one of the 2 4-horse women left that haven't won the Rumble left. The only other
That's
person
true.
I could see winning that Rumble is Carmella.
That's interesting, but I don't think they'd do it. You know who they could do it with? And
Io Shirai!
No,
Shut off.
I love that, but
Baszler?
Peyton Royce. Wouldn't that
I
be a
almost want to hang up this call right now.
I know it is a terrible fucking idea, but I wouldn't be surprised if they did it. Because
Side note, they should have never split up the fucking Iconics.
100% agree there. But they see something in Peyton. About right here. But
Hey, we're almost at 3 hours of this fucking podcast.
I know. I feel like I'm watching Raw here.
What did you think of the match? I thought the match was good.
Yeah, it's all right.
All right,
it was
Pastor.
all right.
All right.
2.5 stars.
TLC match for the Universal Championship. Roman Reigns defends against Kevin Owens. The match went 24 minutes to 45
You
seconds.
didn't even
Fuck
say
Dave
it right.
What?
You didn't even say it right.
What did I say right?
Kevin Owens defends against Roman Reigns and Jey Uso.
Outside of Owens
For
being
one,
the defender in this
How is
match.
Owens defending it? And two,
He's defending his pride, man. His
Jey Uso
pride.
wasn't technically in the match. So, TLC match for the Universal Championship. Roman Reigns defends against Kevin Owens. Shut the fuck up. Match with 24 minutes and 45 seconds. 28 must give it 4.5 stars. I'm wrong. Fantastic match. Both men worked their asses off. Owens' best match performance in WWE so far. And Sleazy, you're a bitch.
Let me tell you how many times you're wrong.
17.
I told you I was
I was
wrong.
going to go 6, but
He did say he was wrong. Let's get that clear.
okay, yeah, I will give him that.
I agreed with Meltzer, so I'm wrong.
I actually agree with Meltzer too. So, I do have a couple of small problems with the match. Yeah, you need a Jay in there.
A couple problems.
My problem is you had to find a way to kill Kevin Owens because that was the point of the match, is that he was going to fight until he couldn't fight anymore. The problem ends up being is that that's kind of how the Hell in a Cell match ended. In the respect of you had to choke a guy out to win.
So you're telling me it's a Singh brother interfering and then Jinder Mahal hitting the Colossus and winning
Yeah.
every match.
Yeah. And I hope this doesn't continue to happen, but
I fucking love when heels cheat or use other people to win. Maybe it's just me, but that's
How
a
dare
perfect
the
heel.
bad guys cheat?
how dare
How dare the bad guys do bad guy shit?
How dare
Weren't you
they?
a huge heel for a while?
I don't like that heel. That's not the heel I like. I like this heel. So this heel should get the push over this heel because I like this heel better than that heel.
I-
Fucking Mark.
I thought the near falls were amazing. I thought every moment that it looked like Kevin was actually going for the title was really well done, and it was very suspenseful, unlike the other one. But the other thing was that we obviously didn't know about the whole how they were going to finish the main event, but it was almost a laughable moment that both titles were on the show in spots that they probably shouldn't have been.
This was in the dead spot
Yeah. Why?
because
We
the way
know
the
why.
show ended.
We know why now, but when
Because
you're coming right to
It
it,
literally wasn't the dead spot. The main event was the
dead spot. I like that. That's pretty wonderful. But yeah, amazing match. Absolutely the best match Owens has had on the main roster
in a long time. Probably since Cena.
Yeah, I think.
I was in Zayn, not Cena.
Since Cena. His matches with Cena were better than Zayn.
Yeah, they were.
But you're right,
His
though.
matches with Cena were better than Zayn on NXT. His matches with Zayn were on par, if not better, than Cena's main roster matches.
You were saying I've been wrong the whole night. You are 100% fucking wrong on this one. 100%.
His matches with Cena were good. His
matches with Zayn were one-sided because they were supposed to be in NXT. They had
Right.
competitive matches on the main
I'm
roster.
not talking about the matches with NXT.
You said it! You
No,
said
but-
his matches on NXT were better.
Go back and
because
listen
of
to the
blah, blah,
show. My exact words were the matches with Zayn in NXT were not as good as the matches with Cena in WWE in terms of main roster. The matches with Zayn on the main roster were better than the matches with Cena on the main roster.
No, they weren't.
I disagree with that.
No, they weren't.
That's fine. You guys can be kind around.
We're not even kind of wrong. You're fucking...
Can
You're Canadian fucking
I just want to.
biased here.
If
is
you
fucking
rank
showing.
every Kevin Owens match up to that point between Cena, Zayn at NXT, and Zayn at WWE main roster, the best rated match and the best match he had,
was
I
with
wanna
Cena
say-
at Money in the Bank.
Yeah.
negative. I want to say Payback.
Positive.
I want to say Payback is a name, but him and Zayn had a way better
Battleground.
match.
Battleground? Was it
Maybe?
Battleground?
I think it was.
It was a
Battleground.
weird name for a pay-per-view. That match with Zayn was better than anything else he had done at that point.
No.
Again, I'll put it this way, personal opinion, but that match with Zayn at, if you're right on Battleground, it was a weird name, was better than any other match he had at that point under the WWE NXT umbrella.
Nope. match
Okay.
we've seen in Money in the Bank was the best match he had until this.
I respect how wrong you are. But I just want to make a quick aside. What do you have in your hand that's orange?
It's a box.
I was just picking something at the desk and just poking it.
Is it a box
I
cutter?
It's a box cutter.
Are
It's a
you
box cutter.
are you getting ready to gig on this show?
I should. I should. For
I was just looking at it like,
I'm
is he gonna gig?
versus Kevin Owens.
he's like he's gonna die on this literally. He's gonna
blade
gig to,
himself.
he's bladed on.
Chip, what do you think of the match?
5 stars. That was amazing. And I haven't given that. I've only given one other match that this year, and you'll find out next week which one I choose, or next time we record which one I choose for my match of the year.
My luck and Ryan's work are about the same. So you gave this match 5 stars, but not the War Games match 5 stars?
I guess I enjoyed this one a little more than the War Games.
No, hold on now. Outside of Sleazy and the Fat Man being cunts, because that's what they are, I can see how you enjoyed this match better than you did War Games. I can understand the viewing on stuff. Sit down and put your headset back on, Sleazy. He's not wrong. I can see how some people enjoyed the TLC match more than they enjoyed War Games.
Says he's gonna have a fucking aneurysm.
I understand, but let's talk about something else so he doesn't have a fucking aneurysm.
I understand he's about ready to fucking have a brain aneurysm, but let's talk about something else.
Okay, Fat Man, yay or nay? Can you not see how some people would have appreciated that TLC match over War Games?
It had a better story. It was more story driven. So
See?
yes, I can see it.
And
He's wrong.
I'm a story guy.
So am I,
And-
but he's wrong.
No. You're an NWA guy, which means you're a wrestling guy more than a storyline guy in the broad spectrum of things. So War Games to you would probably be better than what the TLC match was.
Yeah, I'm an NWA guy, but I'm also a Bret Hart fan, so I like telling
Bret
stories.
Hart, I'm Canadian, and I understand Bret Hart didn't tell fucking stories. He had 5 moves of dooms like everybody else, but he wore pink and everybody thought he was great.
What? Holy shit! What the fuck? What is this show turned into?
I should have known this was coming because Ryan
A Canuck conundrum.
fucking thinks that the Bret Hart Owen Hart match is just a match inside a steel cage, but clearly
It was.
clearly he hasn't seen it because
I
they
watched
told the
this shit
story.
more times than you've jerked off.
I
100%
doubt
that is
that.
match inside a steel cage.
You know how many
and that was
times I
not
jerk
steel
off?
cage match.
That's the best steel cage match I've ever seen, and it's zero blood. They told a great fucking story. Fuck you. Firefly Inferno match. The Fiend versus Randy Orton.
Best part about this match, honestly, was the RKO while he was on fire.
Yeah.
Everything else was just an Inferno match and building up to it. Oh, cool. Fiend caught on fire. He's supernatural. Holy fuck, he just ate an RKO and ran while he was on fire. Oh, I'm excited to see where they go after this.
I thought this was going to be a complete cinematic match, and it wasn't.
So
That's what shocked me out of this. When they rang the bell, I'm like, wait, what? They must be going out and then finishing a cinematic. Why?
apparently it was taped earlier in the day, so it was a pre-tape.
Oh my god!
No, hold on. My only question with that,
I'm not saying because of it being cinematic. I'm just saying, as a general sense, they taped it earlier in the day so that they could edit it out better.
that match was not taped in the middle of the day. The ending and in the chair being lit on fire had to be taped on the end of the day.
That's what I meant. Yes.
Okay, because I was going to say, when I watched those spots, the crowd looked different.
Yeah.
When you watch the full match, the crowd is the same as all pay-per-view. You watch the chair spot and you watch everything else, that looked different.
Look
Yeah,
at you paying
that's what I
attention
meant.
to detail.
Yeah. And
A
legitimately,
Firefly Inferno match, Chip, I had to pay somewhat attention to detail. And again, and tell me I'm wrong, and you will be wrong if I'm wrong, the best
wrong.
RKO in the history of wrestling is him RKOing the Fiend on fire.
Wrong.
what are you going to
Number
say,
2,
Rollins, right?
This is RKO to Evan Bourne. Number 3 is RKO to Seth Rollins. The Fiend was on fucking fire in the RKO him. And the Fiend ran on fire. It was the best visual looking fucking RKO that's ever been delivered.
I would agree with that.
True.
I would absolutely
Wrong.
agree with that.
Still wrong.
I think the best one is the Seth Rollins one.
Seth Rollins is number 3 because the Evan Bourne thing, he had to time a fucking shooting star pressing the RKO. And
The
the
reason
fucking
why-
Fiend was on fire.
The reason why I liked the Rollins one better than Bourne, because with Bourne, he literally just like, yeah, he stood up for it, but really he only caught him while he was on the ground. It wasn't like he stood up and then RKO'd him. He just went like, boom. But the Rollins one,
The Rollins,
It's
puts him up in the air
I
like
will
a
gladly
hockey sack.
exchange RKO 2 and 3 for you. Nothing tops the Fiend being on fucking fire getting RKO'd.
The visual of that blows both of them out of the water.
yeah, the
One-
visual.
The actual, yeah, but that's the thing, is that part of the reason why it. What's the difference between that and Rollins?
Fire!
Exactly. Well, that and the fact, the athleticism between the two.
There's no athleticism to the Seth Rollins one. He stood up and Rollins got to hop up. Fucking fire.
Have you tried that?
Fucking
Did you
fire.
see it? Did you
Like,
see how
You do it.
high? Did
You do
see
it. Post a video
I
on
don't need
Facebook.
to- I don't need to do the jump. I just need
No,
to
no, no.
deliver the
You gotta do.
RKO.
No, you gotta do the jump.
Even if you do that, it takes a certain set of talent to actually be able to get that type of height that he got. And that's pretty
Yeah.
good.
So
From
high,
a
it was
visually,
ridiculous.
100%. It's still the 3rd best RKO in history.
I give it the second best. I still think the Fiend one's better.
There. And again, on fire RKO, best one ever. I have no problems arguing Evan Bourne and Seth Rollins in the RKOs being 2 and 3. You'll never top somebody being on fucking fire.
I have to agree with that.
And then now you'll see every fucking indie mark try to do a fucking RKO. Well,
no,
around
Well,
it.
here's the other problem with this. I don't know what started all this fucking shit, but when you have Randy Orton having a gimmicked match, did you notice that? When he pulled the match out for the spot
was
to
this
drop.
long on red.
Well, that's because they put a special chemical on it to make the match burn longer. It was a gimmicked match. Are we that fucking insane that we have to gimmick a fucking strike on botch match to make sure it worked?
Yes.
Hey, you know what I'm like to defend WWE. So the easiest way I can put this to you, Sleazy, is yes, you would gimmick the match for television or viewing purposes to soak in those extra couple of seconds of looking at the match before he decides to drop the match.
Yo,
Use a lighter.
bro, you need the gimmicks, bro. Bro,
Don't-
you need the gimmick match in the gimmick match, bro.
You can say as much
Whoa.
stupid things as you want.
I was hoping somebody would say that.
Way for a gimmick stuff.
You have-
Again,
You don't
do a
understand.
regular match, it burns. If they
But-
do a regular match in that video in
but-
that scene, and it burns,
Love how
out
he's
too
being
quick,
like so technical
Buck.
about this.
Buck, it was literally
What
only
do
for the
you
joke.
want me to be an
You
idiot
didn't get
about
the
it?
joke.
No.
Ryan,
get the
it was
joke.
only for the joke.
You need the gimmick match in the gimmick match, bro.
Oh, I got the joke.
You fucking
thought it
But
was
now
Stand
he's
stepped right over
explaining
it.
how you need to
Ignore it.
have a fucking. God damn it! You Canadians ruin everything.
Negative. I just thought the joke was fucking stupid. That's all I did.
Because you're
I
Vince
100%
so much.
I 100% wanted to defend that because I think it was a cool ending to a fucking pay per
Oh,
view.
absolutely.
I think it was a really
It
different.
was
ending
not a
for-
cool ending. It was a hot ending.
Ooh, they got a lot of heat out of it.
Yes, they did.
I can't hear you now. I took my headphones out.
Dad joke.
Fucking on fire, man. Just on fire. You gotta really have the sizzle reel for all of this, though.
I'll fucking sizzle your steak.
I'll butter your bread.
I've sneezed. Who?
What the fuck?
Wait, where are we going with this? The match. Okay, let's be honest here. It was a strange match.
Yeah.
There was a lot of weird shit in it.
Yeah.
I don't want to rate this, and I know
I didn't rate it.
I feel
Meltzer
like
didn't rate it either.
he didn't. Okay,
No.
I feel like that the moments in the match were cool. the chair going on fire. That was amazing. The gimmick of him getting on fire obviously was great. And him for the third time this year, because fuck 2020, a guy was murdered live on pay-per-view. So why not? You know, the best thing about that match probably wasn't even the match, was probably a day or two later when Randy Orton on Twitter said, "You probably shouldn't trust my opinions on things because I just burned a guy alive, but The Mandalorian's really cool. You should watch it."
Oh my God.
Phenomenal. That comment, that Twitter post, 6 stars. The match, I'm not going to rate. But it was cool. Hot. Steamy. Is it steamy? Steamy.
Are we promoting a porno?
Guilty, I'd call it.
Steamy. So, I liked what they did. And that's all I can say.
I love how Chip's the one's like, man, we're going on 3 hours here. I'm like, you have not been on the show long.
Yeah.
It's been a while since I've been
Our
back.
last show literally
he
had to be
had-
cut in half.
John, last episode, pulling Eric Bischoff and talk for fucking 9 hours.
Oh, and then he left shortly after me making a stupid female comment. I remember that.
So
Final thoughts? I
Well,
guess?
okay. Overall opinion on TLC.
I thought it was a good show.
Honestly, I believe that, and you're all probably going to rip me limb from limb on this, and I don't give a flying fuck. But I think since the Thunderdome has come in, and even though we're piping in sound, but since the Thunderdome has come into play, the WWE pay-per-views have been much better than they had been earlier in the year.
I agree with that.
And
100%.
TLC is
That's-
definitely...
that's not it. Or I'm not saying. I mean, I agree.
It is 12/29 in 2020, and you just had the entire wrestling show agree with you.
It's not 12/29. What the fuck you talking about?
Well, it's
December 12th on the 29th day. It is 12/29,
I'm thinking about the
2020.
time. I'm like, it's only 9:56 here.
Yeah, that's crazy. There's some weird shit going on. This 2020. But no,
2020 is weird.
I've been more invested in the pay-per-views since they brought Thunderdome in, and I think even though it may be aesthetically just a viewing picture of fans watching you, it gives the wrestlers energy. Just like being an actor in my past, I don't act anymore. I actually stopped. But when you have a house that's partially filled with audience members, it's a lot hard to be able to get over your role than it is of say a house of 500 people compared to a house of 50 people.
Sir, you've never worked in front of 17 people.
I've worked in front of 5.
How many were at that UW show?
It was
4?
it was
5?
when my musical theater company decided to just do a straight play, and there were literally 5 people in the audience. It is so hard to be able to bring your character over for 5 people than it is compared to 100 people for so long.
And that's why Impact and ROH, while being okay shows, don't feel
Agreed. I mean, I watched Impact. I'm just like, wow, I really
just don't feel like they're.
Oh, Ryan, so fuck you.
Ryan has to go bye-byes because he probably has to take a shit. Well, we're about ready at the end of the show anyway. You
Yeah.
gotta wait 5 minutes.
But so I definitely have enjoyed watching. Like, I'll get home from work because I work close on Sunday nights, and I'll stay up for 2 hours and watch the extra 2 hours and watch the pay-per-view all the way through it and enjoy the hell out of it.
At the end of the day, that's what we're here for. You know, I mean, we can complain because that's what we do here. But in the reality
We're
of
wrestling
it,
fans.
yeah, we're wrestling fans.
Complain.
That's what we do.
Yeah.
I mean, that is literally our gimmick. But the reality is we're being entertained by these shows, and sometimes more than others, but we're still being entertained. We still enjoy wrestling. And I think that not having fans there is hurting the entertainment value of the wrestling.
And
And
bring down the quality of the wrestling easily. Yes.
I think it's almost a feedback loop in that respect, because it's bringing down the quality of wrestling because there's no fans, and because there's no fans, the wrestlers aren't trying hard enough, or they're not getting the adrenaline rush as much as they used to. You know, they're not doing as much because there's nobody there. and it's just keep going down, down, down.
And I give the WWE credit because before the Thunderdome came around, before they had people at Raw and NXT and all that, they really tried the hardest, but they couldn't get any momentum going with there being no crowd there.
I agree. I 100% agree. I feel like that we're at the stage right now that we've got 6 more months of this, maybe 4. Depends on how the ramping of the vaccines get out there.
Well, according to I don't live in Maryland anymore, but I do see that there is still a live event supposedly scheduled for March 3rd in Fairfax, Virginia. So,
yeah, that's not happening.
Oh, no, I know it's not happening.
I'm sure.
I haven't been to work since March 13th in D.C., so I definitely know that.
I do want to say, I didn't bring this up 3 hours ago. Sorry. But I think one of the biggest things that was robbed of Brody Lee was being able to debut in AEW in Rochester.
And we would have went there.
And we would have been there.
And he talked about that on Chris Jericho's podcast.
He was robbed of that moment.
Yeah.
But I think that COVID right now, we're at the point where we're coming up from the deep end of it. And I feel like that once we start seeing more live shows again and more people are vaccinated and we really got a handle on this stuff, that things will be different in 2021 in terms of professional wrestling. I'm not so sure that they're going to completely get rid of the virtual fan experience.
No, and I think it's going to be more towards the back end of 2021. But no, I think when Travis was on, he talked about that. He goes, I'm not sure. Like maybe they'll do house shows like that, where they just set up at a place and just have people do the Thunderdome, and that's their house show. Like they buy tickets virtually and they do the house show, and but they'll tour Raw, SmackDown, and the pay-per-views. But house shows will be virtual. And
the best part about that is that means it doesn't matter what the fuck they do over Skype or whatever or Zoom, because who's going to see it? Other fans and the fucking workers.
Or they just tape everything then, or they just go back to taping everything. And here's a show from the Thunderdome between this guy and this guy on a DVD set or something like that, never before seen.
The irony is that they always did that. I don't know why they didn't do more of that at the beginning of the pandemic, because they could have easily done a shit ton of, well, a year ago we taped this match at a house show in Athens, Georgia, and they could have...
Or hell, brought back old FCW tapes.
The reason why I say specifically stuff from the main roster over the last year, because they tape everything, obviously. But the other part about that is that that's first run content that you could legitimately say to USA or Fox, hey, this is first run content. Yeah, it's been taped before, but it's got fan interaction. It's got the feeling that you need. Yeah, you could still do your pay-per-views that way, but you could kill off SmackDown for that, or something like that, or kill off a day's worth of wrestling, so you wouldn't have to expose as much of the roster as you did.
Yeah.
But there's so many different ways around it, and obviously the way they chose to do it is different. But I can see that this Thunderdome gimmick, just having, you have your house that's legit here, and then a row in upper lower bowl.
No, I don't even think that, dude. I think what I think they're going to do is they're going to I think they're going to span the PC, and they're going to house shows in the PC, but do it virtually.
Okay.
Buy virtual tickets to those shows.
I'm not saying
everything's based out of Orlando anyway.
Yeah.
So I mean, cuts down travel costs. You can still try to make money on these shows by having, even if it's 50, 60 people, but it cuts down the travel cost, cuts down production costs, because you still got to build the sets up. They're not big sets.
Right.
You're not having people on the road traveling, which can time. You're not renting out buildings, which costs money.
And they're already stealing half their paycheck anyway by killing off Twitch.
Yeah.
And other social media.
So I think that's what they're going to do. They're just going to build like their own arena in Orlando.
Well, technically, they just moved to the tropical Tropicana
Right, but
in Tampa.
I know, but I'm saying they can't do that all year because you got baseball playing there.
Yeah.
I'm saying they're going to build their own arena that probably has 1,000, 2,000, maybe 3,000 seats. And then if they want live fans there, they can, or they just do it virtually. They're cutting down so much cost that way. And
so
this
you're
way,
basically saying they're going to build the Impact Zone.
Or the Daily Center.
essentially, yeah. Like,
I
but
don't see
at
them
the
doing
same
that.
huh?
I don't see them doing that for TV tapings.
No, you see them doing it for TV tapings?
In the future. I'm
No,
talking
I think
post-pandemic.
Raw, SmackDown, and pay-per-views are still going to travel.
I think that Raw and SmackDown are going to travel, but I'm also saying that part of that travel, there's going to be a line of monitors that's also virtual.
I don't think so.
I see what you're saying. Kind of half and half situation.
I don't think so.
The reason why I say that is it's an easy way to add a shit ton of revenue.
If the building isn't sold out, I see that happening.
I mean, NXT does it with the Capitol Wrestling Center.
No, what I'm saying is, say you have the Capital One Center in DC. What's it hold, about 18,000 people? Say half of it's full.
17,000, yeah.
You will the other half virtual.
When's the last time you saw a non-pay-per-view sell out?
Dude, we went to fucking the last pay-per-view that allowed fans,
Yeah.
and that wasn't even nowhere close to selling out.
That's my point, is that you're
Didn't
saying
I'm
that
saying-
on
what
days...
I think, but once this virus gets under control, people are going to want to do shit.
Yeah.
So that's why they're going to have Raw and I think they're going to still do house shows. Like, whenever fucking Meltzer says or whoever says, they're getting rid of house shows. Not the beginning. They're going to see how they draw.
That would be stupid if they
Yeah.
got rid of any part of their touring company
So,
for any reason.
so they're going to draw well at the beginning of this, after the pandemic. They're going to, because people want to go out and fucking see shit, do shit, rock concerts, WWE shows, theme parks, movies. They're going to fucking go into fucking hordes.
There's 4 industries that everyone here, if they get in the stock market, need to immediately invest in. Airlines, Ticketmaster, and Live Nation, whatever they are now,
Mhm.
if they're
they're both.
fucking put together. Sports teams, and bars.
Definitely.
You're going to see all those explode once everyone says, we can go back out.
Appreciate it.
One last thing before we go. I know that, and this is kind of off to the side for some reason, but I am starting my own personal vlog because I'm a weirdo. So sooner
Vlogs are like 2010.
yeah, vlogging is great. We decided to go through this because why the fuck not? So once that gets going, you'll see some strange stuff coming out of my personal Facebook and our YouTube channel. So keep an eye out for that. But in all seriousness, if nothing else, make sure you subscribe and like this video on YouTube. And if you're listening on Spotify or anything else, like us on YouTube as well. Because we have not enough subscribers. We need more subscribers.
It's not like you all don't have anything to do.
Yeah. But that's
I
pretty
only
much...
work 50 hours a week. What the fuck do I do?
I was working 40, and then I took a week off. Huh.
Must be nice.
Yeah, that's what happens with government jobs.
My girlfriend has a government job and she's still working right now.
I get 20 vacation days, 14 sick days.
I start getting sick days.
Yeah, because of the law changing. That's
Well, as a
literally the
small-
only reason.
Well, as a small business, I'm shocked that we're actually getting sick days.
Because he
That's
had to.
Well, we just joined.
Oh, they had to?
Mm-hmm. The law changed
Oh.
so that they
Oh, I
had to
didn't know
have
that.
paid sick days.
Well, the way that they were explaining is like, oh, we didn't have to do this, but we're doing it free. Also, those
You
fuckers.
lying sacks of shit.
We joined the union, so we definitely got covered way well on that.
Yeah. Even so, when I change, we'll talk about that later. Because I just want to get the show done because we've legitimately been on for 3.5 hours now.
Yep.
But like I said, check us out on social media at Sleazy Fatman's the show. On Twitter, I'm at TWS Sleazy, spouting shit. Fatman's at TWS Fatman. Chip is whatever his long number fucking shit is.
Sports Guru 728, followed by the last 4 digits of his social.
There you go. Check us out on Facebook. Check us out on Instagram at Sleazy Fatman. But thank you, Chip, for coming on.
Always pleasure.
And of course, for Sleazy,
For the Fat Man.
this is The Wrestling Show. Thank you guys so much for listening. Peace.
I'm a truth that you seem to run from. I'm an army of one. I'm a clip in